Yeah, the airport, fucking runway, not set up for drag racing. There's no fucking barrier. There's just people lined up. They're racing diesel trucks, fucking minivans, knuckleheads, modern. I mean, just anything. You just get in line and fucking run.
Where's this at?
2 flag girls in Charlotte.
Okay.
It was the day after.
Dude, that's the racing. That and Indianapolis is like the racing capital of the world.
I know. It was sick as fuck. I mean, there was going to be like a airplane flyover. FAA canceled that. Apparently last year there was a dude like doing a wheelie underneath a helicopter, not knowing the helicopter was coming to land, dude. And his fucking front tire almost clipped the landing legs.
Congregation used to be in May, right? Or was... I felt like it used to be there, and then they moved
It was at a different time.
Oh, okay.
But it was hot as fuck. I don't remember when it was. When I went, I don't remember when it was.
Well, I remember the first time you went, you took FXR Mike's sidecar.
No, and then I haven't ridden a sidecar bike since then. And then I rode around on that fucking new Harley sidecar bike.
Oh.
And it was sick as fuck. I immediately like pulled. They had it set up in a corner, and this guy was like taking pro photos so anybody could just go.
Yeah.
And after the show was over, we were going to a party. I was like, Jake, I'm fucking taking you in this thing, dude. And I fucking immediately just put it on 2 wheels. And around like the corner from the event, there was all these tuner cars. Like, you know, it was dark and they were partying hard on this street. So I roll up.
Fast and Furious.
It's exactly what it was. So I roll up on that fucking sidecar. And this black dude with this fucking, his Swisher Sweet comes up. He's like, hey, man, can you give me a ride? I'm like, fuck yeah, get in, dude. I set him in that sidecar, put him in the air. He didn't even flinch, dude. Like, wasn't scared, wasn't stoked. He just, like, nothing happened. I was like, just get out. You're not even any fun, dude. I just set it back down. Like,
I think, I remember when FXR Mike brought that Should be able to hear it now. I think.
Oh,
I always put it on one whenever we walk away. Try to at least.
Gotcha.
What's up, Kirbyus, dude? He's got the chopper in the chopper corner. We're fucking live, right?
I think so. Maybe. Just tell them if they can hear it now. They'll let us know. So I don't know why it does that every once in a while. When I have everything set up and I finally hit live, it cuts the audio part out.
Yep.
So
sounds back.
If there's audio bouncing over here, that means it's going to that.
Gotcha. So I saw that. I didn't look. That's my fault. I'm about to get fired.
How do you get fired? I guess it's not your day off. So.
Right.
But
That's like garage.
Yeah, dude. You don't follow me?
Why is there a fucking wheel on there? That can't be it.
No. The fast life.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
This is my first time, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah. Danger Dan, the amateur, the podcasting amateur.
Well, he's social media amateur, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Fucking everything amateur, dude.
He's definitely Ricky Bobby's dad when he pulls in, and an amateur tattoo artist.
Right.
You don't know what that's from?
I mean, Ricky Bobby's got to be that fucking NASCAR movie.
Yep, there you go.
The brothers.
They're not brothers, but they did play brothers in another movie.
Oh yeah, same guys. Same
Anyway.
guys.
Prints, paint, and steel.
Prince paints and steel. Yeah.
And you got that idea off of a book that was Germs.
I didn't even get. Yeah, I mean, just
Well,
that
the name.
Yeah, that name I thought was catchy, and
Yeah.
I want to incorporate like all mediums.
Mm.
You know, so prints, paints.
Like what
steel.
were some of the artists from last year that was like displayed in the show?
Jeremiah, Wes, dude, fucking Joe from out west.
Yeah.
He had the fucking. Did you see the missile tits he had? And then he had the labias on the wall.
I didn't see that. I'm actually.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? He had these His wife takes photos, so she had photos of this beautiful woman that Lulu's done a bunch of tattoos on, and they were classy. You know, it was funny. He called me up. He's like, "Are tits okay? You know, like they're gonna be real classy, real classy." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, of course they're okay."
Mm-hmm.
And then he shows up, and he's got these pieces of metal that he sculpted into pussy lips, and then also a belly button. So it was like, once again, it was classy. You know, like it wasn't just like a.
It wasn't Spread Eagle like Hustler magazine.
No, it was, and you didn't really know what you're looking at until you looked
why
at
I
it for a
probably-
minute.
yeah.
It was great, dude. It was great. And Jeremiah came in from Birmingham.
Photographer, yeah.
Brian Helm, dude, with the
Badass
Savage
photographer.
setup. Alice from, I think she's in Austin. She had some cool photos. Jody Perowitz. Jody Perowitz was in the show, and she even came to fucking Texas and was at Born Free, and never once came down and saw the art show.
That doesn't make.
I'm talking to you, Jody. Okay, I love you, but that was bullshit. Who else? Lee Bullock.
Yeah.
Lee Bullock.
What does he do? I know I've been following him for
What
years.
doesn't he do?
He's kind of. I think he sells houses, right?
He sells ranches, dude.
Ranches.
That
Okay.
motherfucker.
Shit, my bad.
He sells fucking luxury living.
Yeah. He's out there selling Joe Rogan houses and shit, ranches, and
Fuck yeah, he is.
hell yeah, that's cool. But I've heard of him ever since like the Giddy Up days, and that's of course when I came into this side of the things, you know. So it's like, but I've seen that he does like art and shit, like
Incredible art.
yeah.
So he was a tattoo artist, and then he quit wanting to talk to people or something. And he did these incredible pieces of art. He put out a book called Oil and Canvas, Oil and Water, Ink and Oil. Cool book years ago. He did a party at Chopper Supply. And and just started painting. I mean, he did one for Robert Earl Keen. He's painted some bad motherfuckers. And he's just got a really cool, unique style. It reminds me of like some of the illustrations that come with like the Hunter S. Thompson books where there's like ink splatters and shit. Like really cool stuff.
Yeah. I forgot the artist name that does that stuff, but it was like a collaboration with Hunter S. Thompson. I watched a whole little documentary on that like maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it was an illustrator that he kind of worked with on a lot of projects and stuff. So yeah, very unique style, kind of like kind of pre-skateboard deck kind of art movement sculpture like that was going on too in the 80s and 90s. So I don't know, it's pretty cool shit. But yeah, I went down there, saw it. I saw Ray Ripple had some shit down there too.
Oh, and Ray had her truck.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was like on prominent display at the front. And then Jason Elam brought in all this fucking wild artwork that is still out at the canyon, dude.
It's just left it.
No, he brought a giant saguaro cactus that's like 13 foot tall, made out of like exhaust pipe, like just a bunch of random car and motorcycle parts. And now it's at the front building at Yellow Rose Canyon, like in their garden. It's sick as fuck.
That's dope.
And then, yeah, he made a bunch of like longhorns, dude. It was cool. It was great. Seems like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, we had Jay Cruz in there too.
Yeah, he's the illustrator, right?
Yeah.
Does a lot of the illustrations, and he did the designs for Born Free Texas last year. I think the flyer,
Yeah,
the main.
They had multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Easy did one. Easy fucking kills. I tried to get Easy to come out this year, but he's doing the same shit. Well, he's like doing the realtor school shit, and he's also going to school at Texas Tech right now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, is he still based out of Austin? Because I met him at
Lubbock.
Little Darling once.
Yeah, he used to live right down the street.
Okay. No, I think it's rad. I thought it was a good idea, and especially you being right there next to the kind of like, if you really think about it, if you're on top of the hill, like where the houses are, and you look down, it's kind of like beyond Thunderdome down there when you're looking at it from afar at night. It's like y'all are playing music. You got the
Wall of Death. The
going
Ives
on.
brothers are killing it.
It's like, I don't know if I'm ready for all that energy down there.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking on fire this year.
Where do y'all play? Didn't you play music at the Wall of Death last year?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so we've done it since the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to draw people out of the bowl the first year. And so there's a stage in the back, like in one of the back pastures.
Yeah, it's far.
And that's where we were going to play because it was out of that main area. And then I was helping Kyle and Cody set up the wall that first. And I was standing on that trailer like, I've played on many trailers.
Yeah.
You know, and they've always, usually if you're playing on a trailer, you're playing at a fucking cool spot, you know? But never have I played in front of a wall of death. And so I hit up Mike and Grant, and they're like, yeah, do it. Yeah, whatever the fuck. Everything I've ever asked them, they're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, this is y'all's show. This is Texas. What do you fuckers want to do, you know? So they were like, yeah. And yeah, so we did it the first year, and it was awesome. We did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. We got some tricks up our sleeves. Oliver's going to come out and sing a song. We got another special guest that's going to come out and sing some. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It is going to be great.
So I requested to put my vendor space like facing from in that little area where the vendors are, kind of close to all that, facing out towards all of like what's going on with the with your art show and the
so you're down there by the track.
Yeah. I wanted to get out of the bowl to try to help, not that we're a big draw or anything, but just to try to help bring more people to those vendors out there and kind of spread the attention, if you will, out of the bowl too. Because there's a lot of stuff going on in the bowl. You got the first year of actually having invited builders for Born Free Texas, which I've seen some of those bikes that are pretty fucking rad. Yeah. Obviously the FXR tour is coming back again, coming through. There's 8, 9, 10 bikes. There's a lot of people almost done with their bikes right now, and it's crazy because most of them need 2 days to get to the starting point of that ride to get there. And I'm still seeing them like they haven't even started their bikes yet. And I'm like, bro, because they got to ride them. You know what I'm saying? You can't just like trailer it in. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter how much time. People always do that.
Yeah. It's
fucking
procrastinating.
Matter.
But
not even procrastinating, just taking advantage of every last second. You know, like procrastination obviously does play a part in that, but it's also just like
they add that
I still got time.
Challenge. Yeah.
I still got time, you know?
Yeah.
Every time.
I will say, last year, there's a lot of people that I know that didn't know about all that stuff on the backside where the track was and where the wall, like, dude. And then they're looking at stuff like coverage and like, oh, dude, I didn't even know that was going on. I'm like, bro, you missed a rager going on over there.
Dude, we had a fucking party last year. Well, and that's really what. So, the first year we played on the Wall of Death, right?
Yeah.
They ran everybody out of the bowl. And then there was like this. Everybody kind of went and dispersed back to their campsites.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck, I want to make a place to have a party, you know?
Yeah.
rent a like, what do? Rent a fucking big tent, or like I didn't even know like what I was doing, but I was like, yeah, maybe I'll rent a tent. Well, then I got to decorate. Like that's how the art show was born out of, just like creating a space for people to congregate.
Yeah.
That is on the facility that way, because everybody will just go back to their campsites and party, and they'll have a great time as well. But I wanted to like create a space for everybody to come together, see some cool shit, meet some new people, and it worked great last year.
Do you feel like it definitely livens up as the sun starts to set versus like during the middle of the day, kind of carrying on?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even. No, I'm not even gonna have it open during the day this year.
Yeah.
Literally, it's going to be like a nighttime party. It's like the after party.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday night. Because during the day, I mean, there was traffic all day long. Don't get me wrong. But there wasn't a lot, And I'd rather people experience the whole,
the whole experience.
And I want to do other shit. Like I was like trying to race on the track and do the drag races while I'm also trying to not leave a bunch of valuable art just exposed, and I didn't want the artist to have to just stick around. But the ones that did actually sold all their fucking art.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, this is just going to be a nighttime party this year.
I think that's cool. It's an experience, right? Back in the day, when we used to do art shows in like Deep Ellum. You create this vibe and you get people to come to it, but you'd have like a little band playing, have people start having a couple of drinks. And I've always said this on the podcast, man. Nobody's buying anything in the first hour and a half. But about 9:30, 10, man, hey, man, how much for that? Mm-hmm. I'll do that. Can I take it right now, or you want me to wait till the end of the show? Like
those impulse buys.
Yeah, it's like get a little,
you start feeling
liquid courage in you.
I mean, that's also, that's how you get girls to say yes too.
I don't know about that, dude.
I mean, same approach, dude. Same approach.
That's that liquid courage, right?
Yeah, you're fucking selling it. You're selling it. It works. They fucking buy at the end of the night.
You got to stay to the end of the night. Have like a whole list of the ones
you don't have to. Some people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And then this year, adding in the C-lo Scramble.
Dude, that you told me about that 3 years ago, I have to say.
At least.
And, I mean, telling me 3 years ago the premise of this whole C-lo Scramble thing, I'm like, and people are going to do that? They're going to bite? And I kind of wrote it off. Like, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And then somehow you got Warren. Warren's part of this from Mama Tried. You got, how many is it? 5?
Warren hired Nick Resty, Dwayne from Peculiar House, Jay Ryan of Gusher Cycles, John and Craig of Easy Company, and Daryl Borba.
Daryl's doing it. So now you got 6 people.
6 badass fucking builders.
How does it go down? Like, what's the premise of this?
Well, there's, they got to build a bike, right? So the first stipulation was nose cone shovel, rigid frame, ratchet top transmission with legal paperwork. And whatever some states it's a title, some states
Yeah.
Whatever you need to convince everybody that this is a legit deal, right?
Yeah.
And that was just to create a baseline. That way, worst case scenario, you get a shovel head, rigid frame,
the basics.
Yeah. And then other than that, there wasn't really, I just wanted them to build something that they'd be proud of. Like Nick Resty's never going to buy one of Jay Ryan's bikes, right? He's probably not going to, builders don't just buy each other's bikes, even though they do appreciate them.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a cool way to build something that somebody, one of your peers is going to get to go home with. And then also there's some, what do you call it? There's you've got some pride in that work, right? Like you got a reputation behind it.
It's going to another builder, right?
Yeah.
So someone that knows the sauce.
Exactly. So that's all of these guys have built a bike, parked it in the field, and gone home with it, with an award or without, whatever.
Yeah.
I think most of them have been invited to Born Free in California, but I just wanted to do something different, and when I came up with this idea, they weren't doing invited builders for Texas, which, I don't think really doesn't affect it much, the way this is all going to go down. But what was key was to pick the right guys that that have a good attitude, that do see, the uniqueness and how much fun this could be. And I did it. I found the right guys. Like those, that was really the key to the puzzle to make all this work. Because, still at the end of the day, I might just have 6 of my friends mad at me when this is all over. That is a possibility.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't see coming was like, I wanted each bike to reflect each person. Them building like a budget-friendly bike, right? Like, because they're going to be giving it away, has really made each person lean into what they're best at. Like, lean into their like
talents and stuff.
Like, this is what I'm good at, so I'm going to accentuate this part of the build because I can do really good at that without spending a bunch of money. So it's really like made each one of those bikes, really represent the builders themselves, on a level that I just didn't see coming.
And you said that the builders are going to go home with a different bike? Or?
Yeah, we'll get there. Be patient, my friend. Okay, we'll get there. So that's cool, right? And then, so they got to go on a ride. Like the original concept was to do this not attached to an event. This was to do it like in, some central spot in America, find 6 guys, or really 12, I think it was the original idea, and everybody ride to this one spot, play a game, and then everybody have to ride those bikes back to their house.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that's how you explained it to me years ago.
Which, and I found some takers, but this is a better setup, right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, all these 6 guys were fucking stoked. They're like, this is crazy. This is I can't wait to do this. Like,
yeah. And
then like a couple months in, they're like, what the fuck are we doing? What am I supposed, like, how much am I supposed to put? Like, nobody really knew like where the bar was going to be set. And fucking Warren from Milwaukee just came out swinging real quick. I think he was the first one to like have the bike together, send some pictures, do a group text. And then, even then, like, it wasn't crystal clear. Because, it's a fucking rigid frame, like it's a chopper. And then he had the paint done. And that kind of like, it set the bar really high, which also gave everybody confidence. Like, okay, so we're not just fucking putting together swap meet parts. We're building fucking bikes. Yeah. So I really got to thank him for coming out swinging so quick. Because it gave confidence to everybody to like, to
it gave
put
them like something to aim for.
Well, it gave them confidence that they weren't going to build. If they did build something badass, they weren't going to get stuck with a clapped out, parts bike. So that was cool. And then it turned into, nobody wants to have the bike that nobody wants to win. Yeah. Like now they're like, they've all come out just fucking killer, dude. And it's just really fucking cool to see.
So how are you going to are you going to do anything other, like before the dice game?
Yeah, so before the dice game, like at the art, so the bikes are going to be set up on pedestals at the bike show. Like, the art will be on the walls, the bikes will be in the middle, and there'll be like a slot in the pedestal. And as you walk in the door, you're going to get one of those $50 bills from Lowbrow. And each person that comes to the show will get to vote on their favorite bike. Lowbrow helped out, with all the builders. Cycle Electric put charging systems on all the bikes. Nice. And Boston Billy from B&B Racing, who takes care of all my motors, he built me a shovel head. So whoever has got the crowd favorite motorcycle is going to win that shovel head motor. Nice. Yeah, so whoever gets the most Lowbrow bucks will win that. And then Saturday night's really turned into a fucking party, dude. It was going to be the C-lo game, the outbound train, and the Ives brothers, but I was talking to Kyle Ives in Charlotte at the congregation. And he was like, dude, I think I'm going to put, he didn't even say I think. He's like, I'm coming to Texas with black light, like glow-in-the-dark tape. I'm going to put on the walls a smoke machine, laser lights, and a disco ball, and I'm going to kill all the lights during the last show of the night. And do because each year he does like one final show after we get done playing. And it's always like the rowdiest show because everybody's stoked. They fill that. There's never any space up there on that last show. It's fucking crowded. And he's like, people think with this, he's just bleached his hair recently, so they all think that he's Ryan Gosling from Behind the Pines. They even think that the movie was like written about him or some shit, you know? So he's like, I've got the fake tattoos. I'm going all in. Why don't we make it a costume party? And I'm like, fucking, I don't know why not. You know, like he's like, I'm ordering you the Post Malone tattoos right now, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a costume party, and whoever dresses the best is going to get to be in the Wall of Death for that last show. But yeah, then we're going to play dice, and the band will play, and the Ives Brothers will shut it down. So I don't want to spill all the beans, but yeah, at the end of the night, those guys are going to roll dice. This guy, Cody from Long Brothers, he puts on an event called the Grundle Run. As soon as he heard about it, he hit me up. I think I saw him at Nitty Gritty. He's like, dude, I wish I could fucking, be in it. And it was cool because a lot of really good builders were like, dude, I wish I could have done it. I'm like, really? Like, I'm fucking shocked that I got 6 people, and now there's like other people that would have been down. But at the Grundle Run, he has these like C-lo dice tables that he's built. They're just like wooden pedestals with some cool laminate overlay. And I was like, why don't you bring one of those and we'll play the game of dice in that? And he's like, no, sir, I'm building you a custom table. Nice. He's gone all out, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. He's put so much into this fucking table. It's insane. All like laser cut metal. It's made like around like a motorcycle wheel with a laser Born Free cut out. Crazy legs are all fucking bass flake, fucking paint.
You
lights,
get like
leather
camera with a TV so everybody can see it in the background. Like,
fuck them. No, I'll be telling everybody what they roll. He's actually going to show up. He's going to be like my official, I guess, dealer or whatever you call the guy at the craps table. Yeah, he'll be running the dice. We'll get him some kind of weird stick, to reach. He's gonna
hold them up to everybody.
Yeah, and then I'll tell everybody what the fuck's going on.
So I'm not a gambler. I'm just not good at it. I don't know if you can be, but how do you like roll dice and win versus lose? And how do you like figure out who takes what's bike?
You ever play C-lo?
No, not really.
Well, that's first off, you gotta know how to play C-lo.
Yeah.
C-lo's a dice game. It's just all up to the dice. Like there's no like, oh, I'll fucking pick up one, or maybe you roll 3 dice until you score. Once you score, you're done rolling. Now there are multiple ways to play. The rules that I'm going to have for this game will be you roll until you score. Mm-hmm. And the way it'll start out, I'm not even going to tell you how that works right now.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll just roll dice. It'll be up to the roll of the dice. And there is a chance. Well, there was a chance. I decided today, actually. Mm-hmm. So the way it was going to work is there was a chance if somebody didn't win any games that they would end up with their own bike.
Okay.
But now I decided if that happens, if somebody goes all 5 games without winning a hand and they have their own bike, then it'll be like White Elephant. They will at the end have to pick somebody to trade with.
Okay. Or you could make them like rock, paper, scissors for that shit.
Fuck no. I'm not playing any more games, dude. I'm
gonna
make that
time.
I'm gonna make that person pick the bike they want, Okay. Or pick the person that they want to go home with their bike. Like it's.
I like that idea.
That's what they're doing. They're either gonna pick the bike they want, or they're gonna pick the person they want to take their bike.
So the goal is to be the loser the whole night.
Well, then you'd be the winner.
Well, if you get to...
yeah.
All right, yeah. I'm confused already. That's why I don't gamble. I've said it before. I'm the dude that goes and plays roulette, and I put 50 on black and 50
Luckily,
on
all
red.
I got to do is like tell 6 people what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the way I communicate it to the crowd is like, it'll be more for an entertainment.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I'm
excited to
watch
watch
WWF going already. He's already got he already knows who the winner's going to be.
Well, I feel like once somebody takes the leap and does the thing and people see it, like building these bikes for this thing, and they see the hype that starts becoming of it, then other people are like, oh, yeah, I want to be a part of that. Like sometimes builders need some kind of like incentive, not incentive like getting something, but a push to like open up that can of worms of building a bike for a reason. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a lot of ideas in their head, but they don't have a purpose for them yet. You know what I mean? So something like that, or becoming a Born Free invited builder, Texas, California.
Oh, well, here's the deal. Everybody wants to be a part of it now that they've seen the bikes everybody else has built.
Yeah.
But to commit to that, not knowing what everybody else was going to do, like these 6 guys are, I mean, they're fucking badass. So really it's just fucking awesome that they would take a chance with me. Cause I'm not like basing this off of anything. Like this is all I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, just like we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And I got 6 really badass motherfuckers to go with me. And I got 8 or 9 artists that are going to help me fucking decorate a space that is conducive to having a party that is worthy of dudes giving bikes to each other. And
yeah,
it's going to be
I think it's
fucking
gonna be
awesome.
rad. How do you feel like, I have this conversation with a lot of people, especially when I'm in California, and they're asking about.
I don't care to have it then. If this is something you talk about in California, just fucking take it back to California.
Well, they're asking like, what's it? You know, because the word.
What's the difference between Born Free California and Texas?
Yes.
Not everything, but almost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the main thing that sticks out to me and most people is like you get to party there all day long and then stay there all night long as well. Like there's no. Just like I said, when I started the art show, once everybody gets ran out of the main bowl, they disperse. When that's what happens in California, after the day's over, everybody disperses, goes to their hotels or their campgrounds, and they.
Yeah, the party's over, kind of, or it's a smaller party somewhere else.
Well, you only get to hang out with people you know. Like there are some parties that happen, but like what's beautiful about like Born Free Texas is you get to stay on the property. Mm-hmm. One of the coolest things that you got to experience at Giddy Up was the campground afterwards. And it being really tight at that campground, like you had to, you're fucking rolling in and camping next to some people you don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's just happened. Unless you're the fucking booze fighters where you rope off a whole fucking area for you and your dudes to hang out at.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was it was the best like way to show like the hospitality that Texas is known for. At Giddy Up, what it was like, because we would have people that would come through from California and other parts of the country and go like, man, these people are like nice. They're letting us come drink out of our coolers. They're hey, you need a chair, like you want to hang out by the fire. Like there was just an inviting feeling to that. But the only difference is that Giddy Up was confined. Like you're
that
forced.
was one of the great things about it.
I think that there was no conveniences there though. The only option was to camp or sleep in a van, or there's no cabins. I mean, I think they did, but I don't even know if they were open at the time.
Oh, there was other options. We just didn't know how to fucking Airbnb a house. We didn't have fucking money for that.
Yeah.
It was like, we're going to the campground, dude. That is the only option that we can afford.
Dude,
spending all our money on booze,
I
loved it when like people from the Midwest, people from the West, people from Colorado, people from Texas would like, it would just be like a competition of who could fucking party the hardest, you know? It's so good.
I remember we would get sauced up enough and get a group together and then go on like a pilgrimage through the entire campground and stop and say hi to people, meet people. I remember the first year was like somebody was doing like a whole like projecting a movie on the side of a van. There was a couch out there. It was like a lounge and super inviting. Like, come on, hang out with us, watch this, do this. And I love that aspect. I always have. I've camped at Born Free every year they've done it in Texas, but I've been camping at our booth in the bowl. That's why I wanted to be out of the bowl this year so that I could camp there as well.
The first year, I went on a fucking pilgrimage and like just walked off into the woods. I found this crazy fucking dance party in the trees with fucking disco balls. Vans were just fucking, they had a DJ or something. I mean, that party I found in the woods was one of the reasons I was like, all right, well, we need to like, because you couldn't even, like, you had to go looking for, you had to be looking for something. Yeah. I was looking for something, like, it was awesome. I'm like, fuck, I got to do something like that so that everybody can have that kind of experience.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why Jeff Milburn will be out there Friday night fucking spinning the vinyl, dude.
He is?
Scratching.
I heard he was DJing.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Just like you did last year.
If
you would have fucking come over to the party instead of hanging out with all your cool buddies and
doing mushrooms.
the FXR jam in the middle of the bowl, dude.
We had once everybody left the bowl, it was kind of like a little private party down there.
I know. I went. It was fucking lame as shit, dude.
We were having a great time, sir. Now, the first year I was sick. I was in tent the entire time, just fever up and down. Last year I got to have some good times. Got to get out, get loose, and then this year, like I said, I'm bringing the couch. I'm bringing, them giving us a 20 by 30 space out there to go set up. It's like you can make a small fucking tiny home out there almost,
Yeah.
So we're setting it up to be a nighttime hangout spot for all the homies. That's why I want it to be by your stuff, so that if we're chilling over there by our tent hanging out and things pop off at the art show or the Oz Brothers, we're right there.
They're going to pop
Exactly,
off.
but when they pop
Just
off.
bring that fucking couch over to the party.
Exactly. We'll do that. So that's kind of why I wanted to kind of be there. Because I think that I know a lot of people that aren't really accustomed, that didn't get to experience Get Up. They don't understand like the connection of what goes on when the night sky comes out, right? Like, not that it's some wild, crazy, like sex party type shit. It's just.
There wasn't?
I don't know. Was there? I mean, maybe. But my point is.
I don't know what happens in your van, dude.
we're gonna find out.
Okay.
I mean, I just barely got it. So, but the thing is, like, some of the real connections, some of the good times happen at night, like hanging around, drinking a beer, running into somebody. You finally had a couple of drinks in you, and you follow this person on Instagram. You've always wanted to meet them. Hey man, I follow you. I love what you do. Blah blah blah, and bam, a conversation happens, and now you have a friend in Omaha, Nebraska to go see. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't happen when you're all like, I don't know, when you're in the middle of the day and you're
hanging out in the bowl at your private party.
Maybe,
No, I know. You're right. I mean,
but
I tried to fucking, like I got a tent, a big tent coming out, and that's what we did last year. But like, if the weather's right, like I don't want to have a cover. I want it to be like fucking open air, dude. Yeah. And I've been looking at the weather, and it's like fucking 0% chance of rain, 0% chance of rain. And then today I look at it, and it's 40% chance of rain on fucking Saturday. I'm like, God damn it, you gotta be kidding me.
Shit, it's Texas, man.
Oh, it ain't gonna rain. No.
Yeah.
Not if I put the fucking top on it. No, if I leave the top off, that's when it'll rain.
I won't wash anything on the way out there. I'll leave the bike dirty and everything dirty. That way the rain does not come. You wash your vehicles,
I don't wash my vehicles.
We know. But
no, I'm just kidding. I actually wash. My power washer gets used more than anybody would fucking believe.
it doesn't wash the chopper though. Well,
yeah, it does. Everybody thinks that my chopper never gets clean because it's always dirty. Like, no, I just don't wash it enough. Like, I ride it so much.
You don't degrease it.
Yeah.
You don't degrease it. That's what happens.
All right, power wash it when I work on it. And trust me, I work on it. At least in my shop, I power wash it.
Have you had the chopper up and running much at all this year or what? Dude, I got a million things going on, dude. I can't. I'm not just. What's Dan doing today? You know what I'm saying?
Why would I not?
I'm just wondering because you got that Pan America. You're like the
Pan. On, dude. The Pan America.
You are the worldwide.
It is not even. It is not. I couldn't have a Pan America if I didn't have a chopper.
I know that.
I did realize today, as I was talking with somebody, like I have gotten like over this hump where like now I'm like, I don't know if I could have a chopper without having a Pan America. Because it's fucking great.
It's a good balance.
Yeah, I mean, I just rode my chopper to Sturgis, wrecked it in Sturgis, transmission locked up right as I hooked up with Kirpius and the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
Fucking went sliding in front of the bar, fucking gas pouring out, sparks flying.
Where at? In like downtown Sturgis or like out in Deadwood?
Super secret fucking back road dive bar.
Sure.
It is fucking good, actually. It took me I think I was on a dirt road for 12 miles before I popped out at this place. Apparently there's other ways to get there, but that was the way I went. And
so now everything's a dirt road now.
I mean, it's my chopper. It's always been that way. Yeah, the transmission locked up, so I pulled the transmission, sent it to Louisiana. Kerry Brobeck from Choppers Magazine hauled it to California. And then he hauled it to to Virginia City, where Magic Mike was supposed to bring my transmission, and then Magic Mike left it in fucking Vegas. So our good friend Danger Dane, what's up, Danger Dane? He actually hauled it from Las Vegas to Boise, Idaho to party at the Pen.
Okay.
And then me and the band, the outbound train, toured back to Texas on the choppers playing shows every night.
So you're able to get everything back on together and ride the bike? Because I watched that from Party of the Pen back.
Yeah. Put
That
it
was
together.
rad. Yeah.
Fucking rode it all the way home. It was
Oh, yeah.
incredible. Fucking incredible. Yeah, Boston Billy, dude, he put that fucking... What happened is that one of the seals went out and all the oil went out as I was riding it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did like a 3-day trip to Sturgis. Fucking, it was so good. And yeah, I guess I just didn't notice that I was leaking oil abnormally. And then it was gone. And then I think I welded the third gear to the main shaft. So it was fucked. But he rebuilt it in like half a fucking day, dude.
Nice.
And sent it straight to Vegas. When I called Boston Billy and told him Magic Mike left it in Las Vegas, he was fucking hot, dude. He's like, what the fuck?
Did Magic Mike make it up to Virginia City, or he just?
Oh yeah, Magic
forgot?
Mike. He came to Virginia City with he even brought his bike.
Okay.
He brought his bike. It had a transmission in it too. My transmission was just sitting in his shop, fucking hanging out with Speedy.
Yeah, I never. It's hard to keep up with what you got going on. You're,
Me too.
you know, like everywhere, straight up.
I went to some places this year.
Did you go out of the country at all this year, other than Mexico?
Nope.
You haven't.
Nope.
When's the next out of country adventure?
Next month.
Where are you going? Nepal?
Mexico.
Mexico. What time of year is that event that y'all been doing with like Helm and Knives Made by Nick and all that? Didn't y'all do like a rally down there? Is it in La Paz or something like that, or
Oh, EDR?
not that different one? It's like a different. I feel like y'all went down there once for
Never.
you. I listened to a podcast. You were talking about some guys you met down there that do something like deep into Mexico, like some kind of bike thing that goes on. I'm recalling
When
some
we
shit.
rode to EDR last time, when we took the ferry across from Mazatlan, there was like 400 bikes on there from Mexico
going to EDR.
going to EDR.
Oh, okay.
Mexicans from Mexico going to EDR.
Nice. I'm planning on doing EDR next year for the first time.
Really? Whoa, dude. On the FXR?
I was planning, man, if I can get my money right, my goal, along with Cory from Main Drive, we were going to build together. By together, I mean he was going to build it and I was going to paint it. I want to do an Evo Hardel, kind of chopper with an aesthetic kind of like my FXR, but a little more, not as tall, a little bit lower, hardtail. And I wanted to ride it to California and then ride it to EDR and back. Then I was going to leave it there, then come home, fly home, and then fly back for Born Free and then ride it home after that. That's the hope. That's the plan.
Just a few months out.
Yeah, I need some money to buy a bike though. Now I've been working on my fabrication equipment. I'm not there yet to do a whole situation myself to hardtail one myself, but I think another year of working under Cory and getting some more things, learning some more
Oh,
things.
that's bullshit. You're fucking plenty close, dude. You remember? You know what they used to hardtail shit with?
Yeah.
I raked my frame with these 3 fingers. I cut the neck out of the way, or cut the wind, like the gusset out of the neck, heated it up, and stuck
Spin
a
it,
rock
yeah.
bar in there and just bent it. The old man was like, "Can you stick 3 fingers in there yet?" Yeah. Maybe it was 4 fingers. I don't even remember now.
Well, that's Cory's style of building bikes is
Not like that.
not like that, but very along the lines of he's not like a heavy tool guy. He's like he literally wants to build every bike like the Japanese do, on the floor, on the ground, no lifts, hand tools, no crazy situations. So learning by working with him is kind of like, to me, it's giving me the best baseline because
Do the Japanese do that on purpose, or because they don't have a lift or space to have a lift?
I think it's a space and lift, yeah.
But so he likes to do that even with space.
Exactly. I'm not saying that it's commendable. I think it's commendable to be
It's questionable. Is that what the word you're trying to say?
No, I think that because he does it
Cory,
that
I'm
way,
just fucking with you, dude.
because he does it that way, I think it illuminates the fact that, for a famous word that a famous phrase he likes to use, is that it's not rocket science. Like, I think that,
That's exactly what I was saying.
yeah, and a lot of every even like custom paint, airbrush, all the things that I do that are kind of could be looked at.
See, here's the deal. I don't even think that much of rocket scientists anymore because
Yeah.
Carlos is a rocket scientist now. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, anybody could be
Fucking
a
Carlos.
motherfuckers, dude,
I
he's
would
fixing
not-
to send a rocket into space, dude.
I heard he got a job down there.
Dude, he's fucking killing it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Need to test his welds for
Cory
sure.
building bikes on the ground.
No, well, it's just it's one of those things. I think it illuminates the people that it's
Well,
not
you got a
that hard to get
ground.
into.
You can build one on the ground.
I also have a lift, so I'll use the lift.
So you're gonna hardtail a frame. What are you gonna buy? Like a soft tail Evo?
Yeah, it's like Evo Softail, 90s Evo Softail, and from what Cory's idea to get the stance to where I was kind of wanting to go, like we're just gonna literally keep the bottom rails of the frame, and then obviously the neck, and then just build everything else around it to get the stance right, to get it to where I sit on it right, and kind of like what we did on the FXR. I mean, the FXR was built for me, my size, so that it feels good for me to be on it, and it looks like I fit it, as opposed to if you just built the bike over some dimensions anywhere, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to do it. I do need to get my money right, because I spent a lot of time on the road this year and hemorrhaged a lot of money out, credit cards up in the air, got to get caught up. And then
I say just fucking chop that FXR up, dude.
dude, I thought about that a million times, how could you chop an FXR and hardtail it, and
Dude,
it
that's
actually,
what they used to do. That's what they used to use those drivetrains for.
Well,
Then they build a frame without the seat down tube. I mean,
hardtailing is the weird part. Raking it, making it, or like going up, raking it, doing stuff like that doesn't seem too complicated. But finding an aesthetically good looking way to hardtail an FXR and still have, I don't know, when you see an FXR frame, it's just like sitting on a lift or whatever. It's a sexy motherfucker. It's got very good lines of like, if you're a person that looks at motorcycles for the lines and the aesthetics of it, like it's a fucking beautiful frame. And
it is until it's sitting next to like a 57 straight leg. And then it just looks retarded.
it just looks like I don't know, I don't want to talk shit or anything. It just, it has like a beefy, more muscle attitude towards it. And like, like those old ones, I ain't gonna lie, that looks good as hell as well. Like something old school, everything the right way. Like visually, everything is pleasing looking. I get it. I understand.
That's how I feel about my chopper. When I build my next chopper, it's going to be just like mine.
Mm-hmm. You don't have like an idea of like you want to try a different style, like a different type of rake or higher or anything like that? Or
Higher? No.
like going higher up on the neck or anything like that?
No, dude, that's ridiculous. Put a bunch of space in between your motor and your neck, then it just looks weird. Like your FXR. Dude.
Calm down.
All that I like it tight, dude. I like, it all right there.
I just fell in love with that Midwest style, that D-rake look, not full on D-rake like, some of the St. Louis guys have done, but like a good tasteful D-rake looking bike, an Al Emerson style or something like that. I love that shit. So that was my version of those.
I mean, a D-rake though essentially has like the same rake as a stock frame, right?
I think
it's just a lot of
technically
work to
it
just
just
where you could put
needs to
ape hangers on it instead.
Yeah, I wouldn't put ape hangers on it, but I think it needs to have like some, whatever the factory rake was, has to come back at least to technically be a D-rake. Because mine's technically not a D-rake. It's just same.
Well, the
shit.
neck ends up being a D-rake, but the way that it's D-rake, but it's compensated for that by where that you put the backbone, like where you do the up and the out, it compensates for that D-rake.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like the same rake and trail, right?
I think so.
I don't know why I'm asking you this.
No.
That's fucking funny.
I can tell you how to. Clears mix 2 to 1 to 1. We're gonna do 1 to 1 on paint.
Oh, this is funny.
I'm learning. I was following along with Cory the entire time building the FXR. Like, oh yeah, I understand this. I get this. I get that.
Oh, yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did math one time, and I'm like, whoa! Nobody told me there was math involved in this shit. He was like calculating to get his mill hole saw drill thing so that he can drill the down tube pipe so that it'll fit the neck perfectly
at the right angle.
And I was like, that part scared me. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm capable of that kind of math. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, other than that, everything else is pretty much caveman science. You know what I'm saying? Take
Yeah.
away, add, connect the dots. I'm sure that I could do that as well. Just make it wouldn't be pretty. It just fucking grind it till it fits a little bit and
Add more weld. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
no, but I don't know. That's the goal with the EDR. I really want to experience that.
You got like 6 months.
EDR's in May, so 5 months plus these next 2. So I'll figure it out. There's a bunch of Evos, dude. Softail Evos they're damn near Sportster prices around this area. So I've already got a couple on my radar. I'm just, like I said, hemorrhaging a lot of money for Born Free. To
Dude, there's
kinda,
a lot of fucking cheap shit out there right now.
Yeah.
People are selling.
Well, when a certain type of bike becomes popular, obviously the other things kind of fall to the wayside and not become popular. And then it's like, it's a good opportunity to go pick up these bikes that you can get for next to nothing and, customize them, make them cool. And next thing you know, those become the popular
You should
ones.
take advantage of this platform and tell people how cool Hondas are. So
Gold Wings, fuck, dude. Gold Wings are the shit. You can get a Gold Wing
those
for $800.
Harleys prices will just drop, dude.
Get you a Gold Wing for $800.
I'm surprised not all the old bikes didn't go up after the bike riders came out.
Yeah, well, those bikes. Wouldn't you say they're kind of hard to obtain? I mean, they're not just on marketplace unless you're. I don't know. I don't feel like people are spending $30,000 on antiques like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to have.
They definitely are.
No, I know they are, but not like in droves of like kids that are financing road
that's
glides.
a niche market.
You know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm shocked that it didn't open up to more people. Wanting to get in. And maybe it has.
I mean,
I'm just
you
not seeing it.
could
We'll
you
see. Maybe
imagine-
we'll see it at Born Free. A bunch of kids with leather jackets and shit.
Nah.
And they're bobbers.
What if they made a bagger movie, but it was like in the vein of like, remember that movie Torque?
Like Need for Speed.
Yeah. And it was just like baggers out the ass, like they all had neon lights and fast as fuck turbos and all that shit.
Haven't they done that?
Performance bagger.
Yeah.
Was it Biker Boys?
Yeah, biker boys for performance baggers. And then
Dixon flannels for all.
yeah, people can finance those bikes, so they'll be through the fucking roof. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I see happening. But old bikes that you kind of either got to know what you're buying or know somebody. It's like it's not something you just walk into, like off the street. Like, yeah, I'm just here to get a panhead. You got any here?
It's true.
You gotta
Yeah. Excuse me, can I see your knucklehead collection that I need to...
Yeah, can you point me to the knucklehead section of the dealership here? I don't know why. Why is he looking at me crazy? I don't understand this. I have money, great credit score,
Right.
So
It's true. It's true.
I want an old bike. I'm trying to be patient and let it come to me in a sense. It'll be something cheap that I find or I meet somebody or whatever. I've heard so many stories of people finding.
Start looking in barns, dude.
Yeah.
Just start looking in barns. That's where they're all at.
More old people.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Try to get on more people's wheels.
Fucking swap meets, dude.
That's what I'm planning on doing, more swap meets. Swap meets, I mean, you can find good deals, but you're still going to pay a premium for something like a panhead.
Dude, you're going to pay a premium no matter what you get.
I'm going to be dirty when I walk up.
You're going to what?
I'm going to be dirty when I walk up. I'm not going to look. I'm going to just, I don't know, just try to, look broke. I mean, honestly,
You think that's what does it?
I don't fucking
think
know.
that's what
Like,
does it?
what does it? I think it's a genuine interest. I think people want to sell. When you have something like that, you want to sell it to somebody that you feel like is going to really, they want it because it means something to them, not like a come up, I mean,
Absolutely.
obviously, there's different strokes, different folks. I think somebody that has like a collection of parts and they're looking at like, one day I might sell these and it might put me in a good place in life. I understand that. But an old guy who's, got a bike, he wants to go to somebody that appreciates those type of things. So if I look like I'm there just to kind of like Jew him down on something and then turn around and
I don't think it's a look. I think it's an attitude.
yeah, 100%, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Knowing
I'm
what you're
trying.
looking at.
I dig them. I don't really understand them that well. I'm still learning. So that's why I'm starting with the Evo.
You go do the job.
Man, I've been telling people all year. I really want to experience a hardtail across country, big miles.
Really?
Yeah, I want that experience of riding and hopefully to slow me down some. mainly because the FXR I thought was going to do so, and then next thing you know,
Why did you think the FXR was going to slow you down?
it's obviously it's not as comfortable as a bagger was. You know, I can't do 1,000 miles a day, and the point was I wanted to. When you're riding somewhere, and I'm going from here to Sturgis, if I'm uncomfortable or if I'm just giving myself the time, then all those little back roads that you've never ridden before, you've done 35 a million times. I want to go see what this road goes and does and check it out. It starts opening those kind of things up because you're going at a different pace, as opposed to when you know that, man, I could be there tonight. I could be there tonight. I can just turn this throttle. I'm getting 200 miles to a tank. You know, I could be there tonight.
I think it's the attitude.
It is, but it's a mindset you have to be in, ready to do those type of things. I got a lot of new homies that are starting to travel with me that I love to death, but
it's crazy that there's flies fucking with you while I'm just over here stinking.
Dude, because I have beer over here, man.
Is that what it is?
It must be. Or you brought the flies, and now they're just like, oh, somebody new.
They're like fresh meat, dude.
The mosquitoes were doing the other night too. Like
it's been a mess here in the shop. I haven't really been in the studio much, but what I was saying is that a lot of the homies, they're new to the riding, so they're very destination driven instead of like the journey driven right now. And I think there's a time that over time you'll start to kind of get used to hurrying up and getting there and realize that you miss a lot of cool shit, and you'll start to naturally want to slow down, or you're not into it and you're going to become a trailer guy forever. That's like the two paths you're going to be. The fork in the road is going to be trailers or slow the fuck down and experience and enjoy it. You know what I mean? So,
you don't even have to slow the fuck down.
Just go a different way. Slowing down means choosing, like when you jump on Google Maps and you look at the map, you're like, well, I could be there in 6 hours. I could probably make, so-and-so tonight or do this, rather than like, I don't need to be there tonight. Let me just do this and see where I land. Like it's a more of a, I don't know if the word vagabond is the right way to describe it, but you're just more about the road and riding and wanting to be a part of that rather than like, I want to be there.
I think it's just a way of life.
And agree. And I'm coming from, I'm like, on my trip this summer, that I did a lot of back roads across a lot of parts of the country that I'm so fucking stoked that I did, because I would have never ridden them, especially when I'm 1,800 miles away. I might never ever be in that spot ever again the rest of my life, right? So it's like a different experience going through it and enjoying it for what it is, instead of thinking, oh well, I want to hurry up and get over there, so I'm gonna stay on the highway past all these little towns that are tucked away in these mountains and never see the town squares or the roads in and out that was how people got there before the highway was built. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was there was times whenever I knew that I was on the agenda, just get the fuck down the road, and there was times I was like, man, I don't want to be on the highway right now. I want to I can still make good time and go that way and see what the fuck's down here. And I loved every time I did that, even though I fought with myself doing it a lot.
Of course you did. It's way better.
It is better.
It's way better. The fucking highway's bananas. You see the same fucking Loves and Wendy's and Subways and
Arby's, Carl's Jr.
Whatever it is,
They become very like you're going to work, like the same gas stations, like depending on what bike you're riding, you have different stops for that bike because of the, gas tanks or whatever. And you're like, man, I feel like for the last 10 years, I've really spent a lot of time in this Love's in Van Horn, Texas. You know what I mean? It's you get like almost like a home away from home feeling in these places, I mean,
I love hanging out in gas stations. What's your favorite gas station?
Favorite gas station would have to be I probably Cisco, Texas. Because when I first started traveling a lot,
like a specific, there's a specific gas station?
There's a Denny's at this one. It has I think it's a Flying J. And when I first started doing a lot of cross country traveling, I would always fuck up going west because I would do it in it was the High Plains Desert. It gets cold as shit at night, and I'd always want to leave at 4 a.m. And I would get about Cisco, Texas before I was so fucking cold. The sun's coming up now; it's the coldest it's gonna be, and I couldn't do it anymore. I'd just go sit in there and wait it out. Then I'd usually pass out for 3 hours, and now I'm leaving Cisco, Texas, which is an hour and a half from Dallas, at 10 a.m. which I could have just did it originally, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of dumb shit I had to learn early on. So You know, you travel. I don't want to wear like fucking. You know, it's like in October going to like Phoenix. You can leave here in the middle of the morning, and about 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, it's fucking so cold out there, right? It's like 30s. But at the end of the day, like you're literally burning up. It's so hot.
In October?
Yeah, like you're
Not
sweating.
this October.
Maybe not this one, but I went to a party in Phoenix once in October, and that's literally what happened. You know, and then a lot of times before that, it would be like that as well. So, but
What? Okay. So the gas. Okay, what about on the road? Like, is there a gas station you like gravitate towards? Like, do you go to all the Loves, or do you go to the Flying J's?
I go to travel stops. I try to prefer to go to like any truck stops, just for the fact that they typically have better gas, you know. And if I need to take a shit, it's usually a decent bathroom. It's not like a porta potty or there's some tweaker Indian out there or something like that.
So you're fucking up already. See, you got to go to the everything but trucker stops. One of my first trips across country, I was in the Midwest. We played a show at the Wisco. It was great, dude. But this guy on a Panhandle was like, "Hey, I'll ride with you to." I think the next show was in Chicago. He was like, "I'll ride with you." And I used to do the same thing, like fucking stop on the edge of town before you go through a big city. You know, stop at the truck stop. You got gas to make it all the way through. And I kept waving. I'm like, "Dude, let's stop and get gas." And he's like, "No, fucking come on." Dude, he took me straight to the fucking hood in middle of Milwaukee to get gas. And there's fucking hookers. There's fucking dope dealers. And he was like, "I just wanted you to see this. This is way better than the truck stops." And I was like, "You're so fucking right. Thank you for doing this." I've that's how I've been doing it ever since then, to like really see what's going on. And what's funny is after that gas stop, he rolled me right by the Harley Davidson Museum. And he was like, "You want to go here?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, I don't want to." Not even for a second did I want to go inside the museum at that point in time. I was like, "Dude, let's go to a fucking bar. Let's get the fuck out of town and go to a bar." But yeah, he opened my eyes up to like the experiences I miss while traveling around the country and stopping at the truck stop on the outside of town. Like, how do you get to see that town until you go?
That's a good point.
You got to get the pulse of the city.
Yeah,
to see what's really going on.
Yeah, till you see what's available in the hood.
Well, that's, traveling on the highway.
Yeah, the shitter might not be great, but,
Well, traveling on the highway, like, that's what I would do, but I don't really have like I said, this last trip over the summer is like my first one.
Well, I'm
really
saying like that
back
approach
road.
I've used on, even when I'm on the back roads, like instead of stopping at the first gas station, like, roll into town, see what's there. I looking for the place that doesn't say.
You're looking for the
as long as it does, if it says Maverick, go there.
Yeah. Those
okay. If it says Maverick, just go there. But other than that, like Allsup's another good option. I mean, I feel at home eating a fried burrito with every gas stop. But try and find some place that like you've never been before and you can't go to any that's only available in that one spot, because those are getting fewer and further between.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that this year being on the back roads more, I did stop and I did have like more than one occasion where their conversation got brought up by somebody seeing the bike and talking and whatnot. And definitely when you stop in a truck stop, you're with everybody else who's also traveling, right? So that makes sense. Because here in Dallas,
they're all on a pace. Yeah, there's I always say like when you're on the interstate, everybody's going someplace, right? You get to the 2-lane back roads, people got a more relaxed pace. They're taking their time. They're going to get some food, whatever. What's really cool is when you go from the pavement to the dirt, where everybody's on fucking vacation, dude, rolling around with coolers of beer and tools, like hoping somebody breaks down that they can help out or share a beer with.
Yeah. Do you need anything from us? I got to pee so bad.
Dude, we just started.
Well,
what are we, like fucking 20 minutes in?
An hour.
I got to pee so bad. Do you want a Monster?
Yeah, sure. Some water or a Monster would be great. This guy's got fucking booze and caffeine, dude.
Right?
Holy shit. So what's your story? How long have you been doing audio engineering?
Man, I've been helping him for about a year now.
We could tell those people at the beginning where they couldn't hear anything.
So it's kind of funny. He's I do more photo stuff and video, and Apple is not my jam. He's
really
pushing me into it. Yeah. So that's the thing is like
It's convenient for people that don't fuck around with everything. They make it. Yeah. It's very user friendly for people that are only Surface.
Yeah. So that's
Editing.
he's been converting me. So now I just didn't know his. I saw the audio. The board was working. I was like, okay, we're good. We're good to go. But I didn't.
I love it how he's got like some kind of fucking drum machine over there, dude. Like some about.
So this is actually the entire audio board. Like it's.
Do you got some sound effects, dude? Hit a sound effect.
I don't know if he has any presets.
You got to be fucking kidding me. He's got those things with no preset.
Nope.
There's not even like a cat meow or something on there. He's got to have something weird going on, dude, for sure. Something.
I hit him, but it didn't do anything. You know what? He probably has them turned down.
So you live over there? Are there people fucking watching? They got any comments? Are they saying anything funny?
Let me see what he says. Yeah, it did give me the applause.
Oh, you got an applause, dude?
Yeah, he's got. So what he does, he's just got the effects turned down. But yeah, there's.
Oh, you got to have speakers on to hear them.
I'd have to have the headphones on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sick. Hey, just for the record, if you're going to Born Free, get online now and buy your tickets and register. Get your shit together so when you roll up to the gate, you can just fucking roll right in. Jace was supposed to tell you that at the beginning of the podcast, but he forgot. He forgot to do it. So I'll go ahead and take over.
Jace, Dan is disappointed that you don't have the sound effects board set up. So.
Man, we tried that when we first got it, and
then the jackasses in the desk over there were fucking pressing buttons the whole goddamn time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need the air horns.
They're there actually.
Maybe just like a cat meow, dude. Just like a real low.
Just randomly throw one in there.
Yeah, that way people are like, "What the fuck was that?"
Oh, don't worry. If they were listening, they got the applause. I turned it up for a minute.
You're over there just meowing every once in a while on your own, aren't you?
Well, man, you know what? We were kind of shooting the shit a little bit at what was the last place I saw you? Was it fucking Brown Cycles?
The fucking party, dude.
It was a good time.
Yeah, right next to my chopper.
Mm-hmm. What? Since you're kind of the not kind of like you're the podcast OG in this space. How much? I mean, fucking 8 years now, right? Since 16 on you. So how has
It's 8 years?
How has it like? At any point, do you feel like there's an expiration date to this for you or the show or in general in motorcycles, or how do you think it's evolved?
Oh, absolutely. There's an expiration date.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah,
I mean, what do you think about it? Like, how do you feel about podcasting, having a podcast in the current motorcycle world? Because it's way different than it was when you started. You know what I'm saying?
Mine isn't.
Except for you.
It really isn't. Like, I haven't changed nothing. The equipment's gotten a little better. I don't force it every week like I used to.
Yeah.
The expiration date will be when I die or just give up on humanity, you know, or it turns into like a fishing podcast. Because it's really not a motorcycle podcast.
Yeah, I think you never were really trying to be a motorcycle podcast. You were trying to just like interest people that you were interested in that were doing cool shit, whatever it was, like you're trying to bring it to the table.
Absolutely.
Like just this open curiosity to like other ways of living and doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed as far as like fucking podcasts are like a social media app, you know? Everybody's got an account. Everybody's got a podcast. Which I think is good. I mean, I think, you know, I enjoy them. I mean, I have a couple podcast ideas that I would like to execute. I don't see any. All I see is more podcasts in my future, expanding the horizon, you know, opening up the possibilities. And yeah, no, I love it how you think I think about that.
Turn it on me.
Well, I mean, I do. I appreciate it, like, because I don't. There is little thought that goes into what other people are doing or what other people think about what I'm doing. Really, there's more. The most thought goes into. I don't want to fuck up riding motorcycles and make it something that I feel like I have to do. Or I don't want to lose what I love about riding motorcycles because I'm like reliant on it for money. Because I have gotten to a point where I make a living to some degree riding motorcycles, representing shops, representing some brands. And it's fucking crazy. And it makes my relationship with all these things, I make it more difficult than it needs to be. Well, than it could be.
Yeah.
It could be a lot more user-friendly if the almighty dollar had as much influence over me as it does in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It would help me out it would do me good. But I care more about like being able to fucking go ride and like get that feeling of, I mean, I still get excited when I'm like, what the fuck is around that bend, Yeah. Really excited when I'm on a motorcycle and I have that feeling. Because I get that feeling when I'm sitting in a fucking canoe going down the river or walking down a trail. But I think that's what I think about. It's like, how can I continue to do what I'm doing and still like fucking enjoy it? How do I keep pushing the envelope without like, falling off the edge, I mean, I think I ride a pretty, I'm right there on the edge a lot of the time. And I know that like chasing adrenaline or chasing that, what's around that bend is sometimes how people fucking go a little far and end up dead. Like on the way here, dude, I was taking some fucking chances, There was a lot of chances.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I've gotten, I'm pretty dialed. It looks like I'm really taking chances, but there's a lot of thought that goes into just splitting lanes in that fucking traffic, especially here where people aren't used to it, you know.
They don't want to allow it.
Not looking at what people are doing, looking at what people are fixing to do based on what's in front of them, But yeah, I don't think of it. I mean, the podcast space has changed. I mean, look at this, dude. Fucking, you got a full-on studio. There's giant cameras looking at me. This is the second podcast I've done this week in Dallas with cameras pointing at me.
Yeah.
It has changed. I mean, there's a lot of options. I think it's good. I mean, you got to have something good. It's like having barbecue joint in Texas,
Yeah.
If you're doing it, it's somebody's enjoying it, like it's got to be good because there's so many people who can do this. I think one thing that is crazy is that there's nobody has to, you can listen to my podcast and yours, I assume, without paying. Like, I don't have to pay Spotify to host my podcast.
Yeah.
People don't have to pay Spotify to listen to my podcast. That's interesting to me. It's very interesting.
Still this day, compared to like anything you watch on TV is almost that you have to pay for now.
Well, and I say that, but like people can make music and put it on Spotify, and other people can listen to it for free. So maybe it's not as unique as I think it is, but yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think in a roundabout way. Well, I guess for my space or my question is more derived towards like, I mean, I know that when I started this podcast, I had a different kind of idea that I wanted to, or maybe the initial goal to do was based on something else that is not what it is now. It's kind of like the podcast showed me a better way to do this or a better way to be. As opposed to like when I first started it, when we first started the podcast, it was more for my brother. Jesse was supposed to run this. It was like, hey, I'm going to buy all this shit and you go be a podcast guy and I'm going to go paint. But it'll be like your thing within the brand. Mm-hmm. And not that, I mean, honestly, this podcast would have never started without Jesse, you, and FXR Mike, to be completely honest with you. Jesse was the SoundCloud rapper who knew how to use audio equipment. So,
dude, for real?
Yeah. My brother got really fucking good at music. I don't know.
Does he got face tattoos?
Yeah, I think so. No. I think he's got
got
at least one.
to even have a chance.
Dude, I mean, he hasn't played music since 2020 that I know of, but around 2020, he got to a point where I feel like the band he had and the music they were writing and
I
creating,
vaguely remember this now.
he was doing very well. I thought I don't know the processes, the steps, or where it takes you, but I think that, I mean, all the little local bars out here, like we were all coming out. We're like, fuck yeah, this is sick. This is dope. Our homies are up there playing, and it's actually good music. I would listen to in my car or something like that. You know, it was badass. And then
What level of groupie did he have at that point?
Huh?
Was the groupie level getting good?
I feel like in dive bars out here, the groupie level is usually some meth chick. You know,
or just your homies wanting to get on the guest list for a place that's not charging cover.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Groupies are more like groupers or dudes, basically what it is. But I mean, I always think every day a lot. Like, I love doing this podcast. I feel like I've grown a lot, especially whenever I come into podcasts or I look for podcasts and people that I'm genuinely interested to know more and want to, you know, like gain some kind of knowledge or perspective from them. Like, those I love. Like the Kirby's one I just released 2 weeks ago. I've been dreaming of that podcast since 2016 before I even started a podcast. I wanted to meet the dude, you know what I'm saying? And finally getting able to talk to him. Like, I still like, there's a handful of podcasts that I go back and listen to of my own to listen to what these individuals had told me through the podcast to kind of keep it fresh on my mind to stay in that mindset. Max Schaff, another one. Fucking listen to this podcast like 8 times. I never listen to my podcast after I do them because I hate hearing my voice. But that one, it's like I put up with myself to just gain that knowledge again.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is you started the podcast to do some influencing, and it's had more of an influence on you than you planned on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
I mean, back in the day, I didn't know what the fuck it was going to be. Like, you're talking. We did that all the time in the garage, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you start getting access to these individuals who have experiences and perspectives that really start to kind of hone and shape and change your idea of what things are. And essentially, I feel like it makes, or at least gives you a better perspective of life, or if you want to take it that way, you know?
I mean, that's why I started mine.
For real?
Yeah, it was to talk to people, figure out how they were doing it, you know?
I think we started the podcast to just kind of go down the simplistic path of what it was. And I think it illuminated that version to me while I was in it. I think one of the first ones that did that to me was Cut Rate Oliver's. It's like, at that point, I was like, I didn't know I was going to like you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not that I was judging him, but I didn't know that he was going to become such an impact of inspiration.
An intriguing character.
Yeah. You know, so, but yeah, I agree. I think that you definitely were on that path of like a different perspective of wanting to go into it. And I looked at it more like a business going into this. You know what I'm saying?
Can't tell. Well, it's good. I mean, I think that is.
I reinvested.
That is
money to build this shit.
Yeah, so. No, it's a great investment. And I think it's a positive feedback for yourself to show that you are open and you are listening, and you can learn and move forward and grow, and you're talking to the right people. You know, if they're having those kinds of positive effects on you. You got the right flies around you. I mean,
those are gnats now.
Fucking killing it.
I don't know where they came from.
No, but it's you know, I feel like that's what I do every day, talking to everybody that I talk to. You know, like I'm gaining something from every little experience, or you know, what am I trying? Interaction with everybody. You know, and I also try and like. One thing I have to remind myself often, I see a lot of people forget because it's easy to, is most of the times the interactions that you're having with people, you know, you're getting a form of energy that isn't necessarily, it's never really just based on that interaction. Yeah. Like they're giving you emotion and energy that they've, you know, gained from a bad experience 10 minutes before that, or you know, while they were at home, or like, you know, you're getting so much more than that. So to treat them as though that's not the case is, well, it's just not very smart, first and foremost. And it'll change your perspective on all your interactions. Yeah. Knowing that they got other shit going on too, that, you know, that little interaction you're having with them isn't the only thing that's affecting the way they're interacting with you, which is easy to forget really, or not even be aware of.
Yeah. I would say it's been over the last year or so, maybe a year and a half tops, kind of leaning and trying to get audiences with like more people within the chopper-esque world, if you will. It's been kind of difficult, you know, like to get the audience, but at the same time, like I feel like what podcasting and not to talk shit about it at all or to throw any shade at it, because I do agree that more people doing podcasts is a good thing. The same way you helped me start this, I've helped so many people start theirs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a knowledge you pass on. And if I could save you a couple $100, I mean, Tucker Speed's doing well, you know. LFG, those guys kind of started one, and then I helped them hone it in a little bit. I mean, when it gets to this camera shit, like I did all the work to figure out what works and doesn't work. So I can save people a lot of money buying shit that's not going to help, not going to work, not going to be easy. So, you know, the first podcast, you were one of the first dudes that came in the studio when we built the studio. And, man, just the amount of shit that, you know, that was like available at the time. In 2019, we built the studio. There was a lot of podcast equipment coming out. Like Rode was starting to have like these mixers that are designed for podcasting instead of, you know, audio equipment for like musicians and stuff. So, but there still wasn't a video aspect that was that plug and play yet. You had to kind of like, mainly like you go figure out the church live stream game is where you want to find out the information of who's running shit, right? Yeah. And figuring out what works. And I mean, I got drawers at my house full of shit that's worth a lot of money, but it's electronics. And how do you resell that shit? You know, people were like, I'm not going to trust this tattooed up dude buying, you know, I'm a church guy trying to make a fucking, you know, a podcast for our Baptist, you know, whatever. Yeah. So it's like, you just spend a lot of money in a different area. So my thing is, if I can help someone solve that problem and not have to go down that route, I'll definitely pass that knowledge on. You know what I'm saying? But and I forgot where I was going with that whole statement. But you know, I mean, you're a great listener, Danger.
No,
Dan.
you were talking about getting other people, helping other people.
Yeah,
you know, go down this road without spending a bunch of money, and just helping them out because you can, because you've already spent the money, and you might as well pass that on.
Well, the only reason I started doing the video stuff back then, I kind of felt like it was going to be the next wave, and to stay, I don't know if the word's relevant's the right word, or just to stay competitive in
that's the word.
I felt like I needed to kind of step up and do it. I think that I said this to you recently. I think that you live a life yourself that's so interesting to where you don't always need a guest at all. I think you can have a separate podcast, just the life and times of Danger Dan, and give us 4 episodes.
I can give you a weekly update.
Exactly, and it'd be interesting, right? I don't quite. That's not the case over here. You know what I mean?
You're not huffing enough paint, dude.
I'm
quit wearing that mask, dude. It get real interesting.
I don't even paint that much, man. To be honest with you, like it's just a difference of like. I look at this podcast. I look at podcasting as a way to uplift not just the goal is like if you have a brand or a person and they're doing something rad, you're doing something cool. It's the ability to show the world that. Yeah. You build the platform to spread more attention towards the people that are looking for the attention to show what they're doing, right? That's the whole point. The perspectives or the bike builds or the initiatives that you're trying to have, like you need platforms to have attention to be able to give people that are not focusing on making content, but making shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I think that society is getting to a point where it's like now everybody is forced to become like they got to make reels. They got to make all these things. They have to do all these things on top of the unique and individual thing that's making them different, right? That it's kind of like making null and void where everybody does have to podcast. Everybody does have to do their own like media now.
No, they're just choosing that.
Well, how do you, I guess I've kind of opened up a can of worms about social media with that statement, which I've been trying to avoid this conversation because it just goes nowhere in circles. not like it's not a disagreement, but you know, it's just, we're just bitching about.
People do. Because you can, you know, you can make your own content, you know.
And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just...
Yeah, nobody's making that... Well, maybe there is somebody making that assumption, but I wasn't.
Well, what a magazine was a badass thing. It was a thing that you were doing something, building something, or you built something and you did something, and this magazine would would tell that story photographically and through written word. And of course, like the attention span of the world, you know, it kind of shifted to the internet. And now it becomes where I feel like what I see happening, and I think it's rad. I'm not talking shit about this. I think it's cool as hell. On like YouTube, there's so many people making so many cool, short, like things on some like these little kind of like what Todd Blueball did whenever he spliced up that podcast y'all did. It's like this more concise, you know, meat and potatoes, no filler. This is what we talked about. This is what it is. This is who this person is. Not like 6 hours of like, oh, I like red gummy bears versus blue ones. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Todd's really good at what he does.
Yes, very good. So to me, I feel like that it's kind of evolved to it's like, well, does long form 3-hour podcast have a home anymore? Or does everything need to be the experience of doing something on long form need to be now chopped into this like bite size, you know, chicken nugget of an experience?
I mean, I feel like with all this that you got going on, that it would be beneficial to do that.
What, like concise it down?
Yeah, maybe there's a space for that to not do that, but then there's also a space for, you know, I thought about filming my podcast just so I could pull clips out.
Yeah.
Not so I could put the whole thing on fucking YouTube and get people to look at my face for 3 hours.
Trust me.
But so that I could just pull out clips to put on whatever, so that they could see what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Just to give them a piece so they might go listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Not yet.
I mean, because I think
when my man learns how to do stuff like that.
Damn, he just threw you under the bus, dude.
Fucking
Hit a button over there. Fucking let's hear some sound effects, dude.
Right.
They're mainly in California, but there's companies, there's people out there that will like
I would outsource the fuck out of it.
I would too if I'm trying to outsource to a homie. I'm trying to give a homie a chance to get their shit together. Not just you, but just somebody that wants to, hey man, like instead of me spending $150, $100 an episode or $300 an episode to have this company go through this podcast and give me clips, reels, fucking all these things, you do it and make money. But you know, the incentive, I don't know how to like, I'm self-driven. Like I want to start a podcast. I figure out how to fucking do a podcast. And when I come to a snag, hey Dan, what do you do in this spot? And then you answer the question, right? I don't come to Dan and go, hey man, I want to do a podcast. Where do I start? You're like, yo man, like fucking do some, like try a little bit. So my thing is like, when I tell people that I want to work with or, you know, Sax, anybody that's ever come here to work at the shop and want to do stuff, I'm like, look, I'm here to help you along the way, but you got to have initiative and drive to figure out, you got to get to a point where I can actually be of some help, you know, because if I'm just doing it all for you, then I might as well just do it myself. And that's kind of what ends up happening a lot, you know. It's like, if I'm going to do all this for you and teach you how to do it, like now I know how to do it because I figured it out.
Go. That's it. Then you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a space for all of it.
Yep. But also, I'm not the easiest person to work for.
Come on. I'm
a walking contradiction.
There's never been the same person in here twice.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, when I started doing podcasts, I started getting all these multiple personalities because I meet so many cool people. I'm like, I like that guy.
I'm building a chopper now.
Jocelyn
D-Rake
comes out
FXR. Those are not personalities we're talking about?
No, I've been wanting to do that FXR for a long time.
Yeah.
And when Mike was doing his People's Champ, remember that? FXR Mike was doing the People's Champ, and he was building the FXR that was making the world hate, or this was blowing people's minds, basically.
Which one was this?
So FXR Mike Pantazzi got, he was doing the People's Champ in like 19, I think. I think it was 19. And he made it to like April before he kind of like, you know, I guess he got voted out. I think it was when Show Class was still putting it on. And he was doing a D-raked FXR chopper. He had a coffin tank on it. He was kind of like building this thing, I think mostly in part to make people pissed off because of all the purists in the FXR world. And man, there was like hate pages getting made for this bike that he was building. But
sick.
But I loved it, and ever since then, because he kind of turned me on.
Who doesn't love a coffin tank?
Well, I love the fact that he was like building something that he thought was cool, that he liked, that he was inspired by other people, you know, in the spaces before, right? And you know, whether people liked it or not is really not the point of it. It's about building what you love, and I don't know.
No.
What do you think?
Not for the People's Champ. It's not.
Well,
It's the People's Champ, not FXR Mike's champ.
that's why you didn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he finish it?
No.
I don't remember seeing that bike.
It never. Once it didn't. He didn't make it to the next round. I think he kind of shifted gears. I mean, FXR Mark's pretty. I don't know if you talked to him in a while, but even though he's kind of stepped away from motorcycles in a bit, he's still got a lot of great perspectives of things, and you know, he's kind of come on here and there to help kind of fill the gap. And I'm coming up on 400 episodes, right? You're at what, 4 something now, like 450 or something like that.
I don't know. I fucking typed it in this morning. Something 449, 449.
490.
No.
You've usually been like 100 more than me for the last
Yeah, you've been fucking catching up, dude.
No, it's
Fixing to pass me?
no. But I was thinking like on the 400th episode when I have that coming up, because I think this is 394.
Okay.
I want to do something. I always like to do something special on the hundreds, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know yet. I'd love if people got an opinion, and fucking don't say Joe Kid, please. I love Joe Kid. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, like, we get it. You want to hear Joe Kid on the podcast again, but I want to do a podcast. I like doing the hundreds where it's like there's some kind of special.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be somebody unique. Not
Yeah.
Joe Kid's cool, but that's not the one that I would have for that.
Like just another podcast with a personality.
Yeah.
Nothing like set up someplace different.
I like to be special and nostalgic, and you know,
Multiple personalities.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. You know, I like.
Do you ever just like find people that you know are going to argue and put them in front of each other?
I don't like. You know.
Yeah, he does. They're called Garage Talks. He gets on there with me, and him fucking argue about shit.
So I do a Patreon podcast only called Garage Talk, and we were fucking ripping and running this year at the beginning of the year. Every week, another podcast, like one a week. And then, of course, when I traveled all summer, it threw a wrench in the mix, and then it's kind of been hard to sit down and get things going. Because I'm not just trying to like throw shit together. I want it to be genuine stuff that we're putting on there. But
Like
Devin,
topics,
yeah. Like we did the Harley DEI thing on there, but we did it on Patreon. I'm not looking for clickbait fucking like attention towards opinions and ideas. So I would rather put controversial conversations in a place for people that are, you know, like a limited audience that is like the supporters of this show.
wants to hear it.
Yeah. Not just, hey, here's what I think about something I know nothing about. You know what I mean?
Jace is like his own worst enemy when it would come to like quote unquote success, because all the clickbait stuff that would get him the most likes or the most views, he puts always like behind a paywall where people can't see it. He saves that for the people that are the fast life purists, which is good, but it's not good if you're trying to like have this huge numbers.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I don't want that.
Yeah,
every time something's ever gone viral, it's hate. Like you have to have a level of people hating it, and liking it for it to go to.
I don't think the hate is what makes it. It's because people like it. There are going to be people that hate it.
Fair, exactly.
The hate comes along.
Yeah,
the hate doesn't drive.
The hate comes because they see it successful or it's doing well sometimes,
or something that some people feel that strongly about. That there's going to be people that feel the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a mess, but yeah, the 4th episode, I don't know, man. Like I try to think like what, you know, because
when's it gonna be?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I have in the can right now enough episodes to hit 400.
Oh yeah. So you can do it right now.
I could drop it now and it'd just be another episode. But at the same time, like, I still have I have like 4 episodes left that I recorded over the summer. Some good ones too. Irish Rich, you met him yet?
No, yeah, I met him at Love Thy Chopper 10 years ago.
Cool guy. All right, I just met him this year.
I mean, I only just shook his hand. I didn't even know who the fuck he was at the time.
At Surge this year, we did a podcast together at his spot there, and it was just really cool to finally, meet him and, kind of be in the, like, you ever feel like you need to be in the right spot of like, I know what you're going to say, but because we're so fucking different. So it's like, this is the way I am, but of course you're not this way. But to me, I feel like.
No, Irish Rich is legendary. There's no doubt about it. To go hang out with him in Sturgis is fucking awesome.
But do you feel like there's timing to certain people you do podcasts with? Like if you would have had that opportunity to do that podcast a year or two before, it wouldn't have been as good because you needed something to happen to make it a better connection. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's why, that's why I take the approach I do, where I don't generally reach out to anybody.
Yeah.
I wait until I meet them,
Mm-hmm.
and like spend a few minutes at the very least with them before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to put a microphone in your face and record what you have to say.
Yeah.
I like to, I guess, build a level of trust. Now, some people know. I mean, I've not done it that way.
Yeah.
But that's generally my approach.
You can tell when you do a podcast with somebody that you have a connection outside of the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
There's more of an openness and conversation. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you get like that interview thing. Like I ask you a question.
Break them open.
And then they say that they answer the question, and then they sit here and wait for the next question.
It's like the nervous first date. Like,
well, there's a that can happen. It also, you gotta like communicate with the person ahead of time. Let them know what's going on. And each person's different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need to be told, guess what? You can ask questions. This isn't just me asking questions. If you have anything, there's just different ways to get people ready for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people, they're just going to sit and stare at you anyways. Some people you just like get wound up a little bit and they'll talk forever. And some you got to like keep turning it,
Yeah. You ever find like you have to talk a little bit more to make them comfortable? Because like, they're short at first. I've had people in here that are like legendary dudes in the bike world, and you can see them kind of like shivering almost.
Yeah.
Because of the cameras, I
Put
guess.
a bunch of fucking lights in their face and shit. Yeah, I bet. I mean, they're not used to fucking talking on a microphone, much less a microphone and 3 cameras and some dude behind a desk, you know? Of course they are. They're like, what the fuck am I went my whole career without having to do something like this. And now I'm fucking sitting in a...
Welcome to 2024.
I can imagine that you get that reaction.
Yeah, it's different, man. It's just one of those things that I try to, when you start recording though, you're like, oh man, I'm thinking like, I don't want to sit here and have to go back and do all kinds of editing. So I'm like, to make them comfortable, I'll just kind of like talk a little more and get, familiarize a little bit and then ask them a question or something like that to kind of get them out of
Give
the
some
show.
booze, dude. Fucking shots.
I try.
Shots.
I try. Every once in a while, you get those guys that come in here ready to party. I'm like, fuck, I wasn't ready to party.
What about
that's the chopper dudes? The chopper dudes come in here and they start getting.
Were you here with the Haney and
yes, when
Borba?
The fucking shirts came off that couldn't even get aired.
So Justin Haney, Daryl Borba,
Did
Jason
you take your
Ochoa.
shirt off? You're working, so you didn't take your shirt off.
Yes, he took his shirt off.
I probably initiated it.
He literally, Jason's over here getting drunk, turning into Jose, and he was trying to, he was a prospect for the Chopper Gang, and all of a sudden the shirt.
So last year, right after Galveston. So we had a podcast, like I said, Jason.
It was like
Ochoa.
the swap meet weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And dude, it was 6 hours long. We never released it because it was nonsense, but we all had a fucking blast in here. We got drunk as hell, had a good time. I got to know Daryl really well in that podcast, and I was like, you know what, man? I gotta like this. This is not gonna work. I can't put a 6-hour podcast out, and I'm not gonna spend fucking 2 days editing this down to something legible. So I was like, let me come to your place and let's do a podcast. And that's one of my favorite podcasts I did last year or earlier this year with Daryl and finding out about him and checking out his spot and all that kind of shit. So, but yeah, it was a fun time. Those are the ones. It's weird because you do a podcast with people and we've had some really drunken nights in here and you forget there's a camera, there's microphones, and there's this thing going on over here. It's just like you're just broing out in a fucking garage kind of thing,
Yeah, mine gets that way quick with the little fucking lapel mics.
Yeah, because you're a realist.
Sure.
Yeah.
When there's booze flowing, I mean, I've put out some that, you know, people have lost jobs over way less than what has been done.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some out there. There is definitely. I put one out recently. Oh, the one I did with Roland Sands, dude. I said some shit. And Roland is such a good dude.
Yeah.
And he put up with some bullshit. I said some shit I never should have said. And he was like, he was as cool as you could ever fucking ask somebody to be while dealing with some shit like that on the spot, you know? But yeah, I didn't even want to put that out, but I'm like, you know. Like, you know, lesson learned.
Dan being Dan, not giving a shit like what anyone says. All right, it's going out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ask anybody either.
Yeah.
You know? You know, yeah, the booze. Yeah, the booze will do that.
Yeah, there's something to that, but it helps. It helps, you know, the flow of conversations. And when you get a lot of homies in here, a lot of familiar faces, and you start drinking a little bit, like, the last year we've kind of reeled it in a bit and kind of kept it to where by the time we hit 2.5 hours, there's nothing's being said that's of any philosophical value.
When you're drinking?
Yes. And usually
I feel like it gets really good then.
It does get good, but you're getting these, like, you're waiting a long time and listening to a lot of really, really stupid shit to hear maybe one really real thought from somebody that's not very thought out, and it's literally just some cancel culture shit that's going to be there.
So those are the moments where you use those for the reels clips. You take those one-liners, and that's what gets used for your reels.
Yeah, I don't like drama and controversy. I never wanted, like, anytime there's big drama controversy going on, I'm not chasing that for content on the podcast. I don't want to put a guest in a position of like, hey man, so I hear you fucking, you know, I heard you outsourced all your jobs to fucking China, dude. What's up, man? It's fucked up. Like, I don't want to be in that situation. That's awkward as fuck. I'm not trying. There's people out there doing that. They can do that. I want to be like, hey,
There's
man.
not enough people doing that.
I ain't trying to be the dude. I don't get paid enough to be in that awkward situation dealing with that kind of feeling.
You would if you started calling people out like that.
I don't want to do that. That's not. Motorcycling is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an escape from reality, and it's supposed to be all.
Do you feel any responsibility to do that kind of stuff?
No, because I've never leaned into it. Anytime there's ever been anything controversial, we'll give us an opinion. I've said things, but I'm never trying to make a podcast about that in specifically. Like, I brought these guys in here to talk about DEI.
We've had some.
I don't know shit about that, and I don't honestly care enough. Personally, I don't care enough to go do the research, which is the same research that everybody in the world does. So it's what's available for us to know. I don't care, man. I didn't get into bikes to fucking police people. I didn't start a podcast. Well, I do want to gatekeep a little bit. I think there needs to be a level of gatekeeping in certain areas. It's like a respectable amount, but I don't like drama, man. I don't want to.
Yeah, I think you'll say some hot take stuff, but you don't just say. You don't just attack anyone. Like, you're not out there to try to make somebody feel bad or try to put somebody on blast. Like, that's
when you're driving to work and you're listening to a podcast, like, you know, you're in a truck all day driving across the country, you're in work, you got headphones on, you're fucking doing your job, wherever you're at listening to this, man, I want you to hear some stories about what you're not doing, which is being on a bike and doing something, working on your bike, being on a bike, building your bike, fucking traveling, experiencing, hanging with your homies. Like, that's what I want to experience.
Here's the deal. If you don't want to hear any of that bullshit, right, and you want to hear somebody just attacking people for not being American, you can listen to my podcast, because that's what I do to every guest.
There you go.
No, I get it. You know, I don't ever want to make somebody feel uncomfortable, but I do. I feel
obligated a little bit.
I feel there being pressure, especially when I feel strongly about things that I don't want to let slip, but at the same time, I don't want somebody to not want to come and talk to me because we disagree on things, and they might feel like, threaten's not the right word, but they might feel like, you know, that they would get into a spot that they wouldn't feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
So it's my approach, but you know, like when people, I mean, there are things I feel like somebody should be calling these people out. And sometimes I feel like, well, fuck, is it me? Should I be the one doing this?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I feel like you've like I said, your podcast has always been on the take of, like you're, I don't know. I feel like you've always like not toted the line of motorcycling. Like you've always kind of gone everywhere around it. Like on motorcycling, maybe it's motorcycles that got you the connection with the person, but you're talking about shit that ain't got shit to do with motorcycles on the podcast, you know, and whether those conversations come up, it's like, I'm just not versed to carry that conversation. It's kind of like politics. Like
Who are you voting for?
Come on, dude.
I couldn't resist. I mean, it's coming up, dude.
Oh, it is coming up.
It's coming up. Who are you voting for?
Well, Cory said that the only way that we could do this next project together is if I vote. Not who I vote for, but I have to vote. So I have to vote, and I'll vote.
Who are you going to vote for?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, no, dude. Come on, dude. Where are we from?
So Cory said you had to vote?
Yeah, he said you had to vote. He said you have to vote.
Fucking
and then
gatekeepers.
He is, dude. Well,
trying to keep that chopper knowledge to himself unless you go fucking be a part of the system.
Yeah.
What a fucking weirdo, dude.
Man,
Cory, I love
in the last fucking, honestly, since I started a podcast, you know, the political landscape has been like as big as like sports entertainment since then. You know, 2016 to now, it's just like you can't escape it. And
when did you start listening to Rush Limbaugh?
Never.
Really?
I never listened to Rush Limbaugh, dude.
I had a job at some greenhouses, and these fuckers, they listened to it every single fucking day. I had never once. That didn't even.
You gotta go.
You know, I knew who he was, but I didn't know what the fuck
Yeah,
he
I knew
talked
who he
about.
was. You know
You
what I'm
gotta go
saying?
Don Imus status.
Oh, dude, what's the guy after him? The guy in the after, Mark Levin, dude. He just is fucking pissed off all the time.
Yeah, when you can, it's like I get on to my wife all the time. Like, you're watching all these fucking murder mysteries and rape documentaries and shit. Like, of course your fucking dreams are fucked up. Like, you have a distorted
She has
view
fucked up dreams?
Yeah, all the time. She's like, oh man, that dream was crazy. I can't remember it, but
Do you dream?
Somebody died. Yeah, I dream all the time, dude. I'm a dreamer. I'm dreaming right now, baby. Got Danger Dan in the studio, watching me drink beer and get drunk.
Dreams come true, dude. So, who are you voting for? Cory wants to know, dude.
Nah,
I know he says he doesn't want to know, but people that are like, you need to vote,
They want to know.
they're, you know.
I'll be honest with you. I straight up, like, I'll be honest with you. I'm a very, you know, I'm older. There's a lot of things about like the Republican nature that fit just me, but also it feels like a lot of the Republican values are what liberal values were in the 90s. Does that make sense at all?
You're saying it's flip-flopping?
No, I'm saying that, like,
Are you saying that the Republicans are the party of the people now?
kind
Whereas
of.
the Democrats used to be the party of the people?
Exactly.
That's
So,
interesting.
I'm kind of on that fence. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Trump. Like, as far as like, oh, Trump's the savior of fucking humanity. I'm not. It's not a person thing. It's just that, like, if you take the
are part of the Maha movement.
if you take the personalities out of the situation and you just go on like hoping that policies are going to be better, then I definitely am going to be voting for, you know, a red ticket, basically. So, but like I said, I fucking hate that it's so. I hate the choices. I hate that it's like.
So have you never voted before?
I voted twice in my life.
What kind of savage are you? How old are you, dude?
42.
40, and you've only voted twice. Who'd you vote for? Bill Clinton?
Calm down, dude. I'm not that old. No, Gore, baby. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I think I actually did vote for Gore.
Quayle.
I voted right. I was in high school still. I was, you know, I voted in high school because I was 18.
That party of the people.
Yeah, because I didn't, you know, like I grew up in a very urban area.
What does that have to do with it?
He voted
Everything.
for Obama. That's what he's telling you. He's
Dude,
telling you.
every fucking thing. If you grow up in the inner city shit, like life feels different than when you grow up in the country or you grow up in the suburbs. Like all this stuff is perspectives that you're fed through, like
I know,
the
I'm
way
pretty
of life.
fortunate. I got both of them, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm a listener. I listen to people, so I understand the concerns and this and that, and I get it. I feel like you need two parties. You need this opposition, checks and balances, right?
You need like fucking 10.
Yeah, you do.
I
what I'm
like
most excited
like a
about-
party like every day of the week.
I'm really stoked about. I don't know what this means, and I'm not a scholar on this world, but
No way.
whatever this whole Elon Musk being a part of, like this government check system, I like
You
that.
think that's a good idea?
I think
Get
so.
our fucking big businesses into the government?
Yeah, 100%. Small government checks and balances.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
When he came out the other day and said that he would cut 80% of all federal government agencies,
You believed him?
I would like to believe that's true.
Like
I mean,
that's possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
they all say all sorts of shit until they get in there and somebody shows them that
Yeah, but
that
here's
fifth
the thing.
angle
Yeah,
of
but
the
when-
fucking
when-
JFK assassination. It's like,
Right.
all right, so I know what you told everybody, but here's the
So
fucking
then that
deal.
would come into the case of like, then why does vote matter? Because they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do
Yeah,
anyway.
man, but like when you're Elon, man, when you got that's like fuck you money. That's the fuck you money.
I mean, he has been doing it. I mean, I feel like you vote every day with your dollar.
Absolutely.
Voting at the ballot box is like, maybe it's like comfort food or some shit, but it's not as effective as actually voting where it counts. And that is with.
I'm never going to buy an electric vehicle
No, why not?
because I'm not into that. I don't.
Because of politics?
No, I'm just like
Then how did we get? I thought we were talking politics, bro.
Well, I do appreciate what Elon is and doing and everything. Like, I love everything. The electric cars is cool. It's just not in my wheelhouse. Like, I'm not. When I go on Marketplace, I'm looking for fucking things that are $6,000 or less. I ain't buying a $6,000 Tesla. That battery's gone in fucking 2
Probably
months.
can though.
Maybe. But if
And then you
if
gotta
it's
buy
anything like
$20,000 battery
electronics that
for
I'm
it.
used to, like, I'm not doing that shit. So
You think somebody's got that same, like, just like your drawer? Somebody's got a garage just filled with fucking Teslas and electric cars that don't work anymore.
I don't think that technology is it's not sustainable for
It's not
people
practical for what
it's
you
not
need
practical
it
for people that have income that need something like that. Maybe you're leasing a car if you're into that kind of weird shit. I get it. Like, I'm gonna lease this car for 2 years and pay a lot of money and not own a thing on it. Like, fuck that. But I also grew up with our motorcycles was a way of it's just like a tattoo. Yeah, it's expression. It's who we are. Kind of how we align ourselves with things, if you will. And I don't know. I'm not into it.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I would ride in a Tesla, but I would never buy one. I would never buy an electric vehicle because they can't do the things that I need a vehicle to do.
Not even like an electric dirt bike?
I don't even have a regular dirt bike. Why would I get an electric one?
At some point I will have an electric
First off,
motorcycle.
dirt. Me? No, dude. Fuck no. When you invited me like last year, like, hey, dude, I got this other Pan America.
Yeah, we're going to do it, dude.
Let's go to Oklahoma and go do back roads the whole time. I was like, yeah, Dan, that sounds fun, dude. I'm so stoked. Yeah, let's go.
We're going to do it.
Well, you're going to have to hold me to it then because I'm never going to remind you again.
We might not do it then. I totally forgot about that. Well, dude, it's funny because I've said that to a lot of people because I genuinely want to take, that's what I like to do is go fucking ride motorcycles.
I feel like people that grew up riding bikes on dirt, then transfer to concrete, are amazing riders. They're way more suited for motorcycle
better.
riding.
Way
they
better.
are. Someone like me who never rode on dirt, going to dirt is like it's the opposite transition. Like, it's not.
Feels like the sketchiest thing ever.
Yeah, because you're not used to that unstableness. Like,
Yeah, but you can get that way.
maybe with a couple broken collarbones, wrists.
I mean, if that's
Boost.
your approach.
Just more boost.
If that's your approach.
When you're fucking 16 and you don't have bills to pay, and
Yeah, and the recovery
I'd love
time is
for
a
the
lot
fucking
faster.
Before and after podcast, me and Jace go into the woods. He comes out fucking got,
Neck
he's got a
brace on, arm
collarbone,
sling.
broken neck brace.
Here's what happened. We were riding through these backwoods, and then a bear came out and fucking mauled me, and so I wrecked and broke my collarbone, and I lost a leg. That's the shit that would happen to me.
That's terrible.
I'm just, hey,
I haven't seen any bears this year.
I saw one in Pennsylvania. I thought it was a big dog, and I was like, why is that dog's got long legs like that? It's weird. Why is his nose brown?
Wow.
Oh, that's a bear. It took like 30
Oh,
seconds.
yeah, you just did a podcast with Sean.
Yep.
I just put out a podcast with Sean today.
It's pretty rad what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
Fucking
course.
metal, 3D metal printing. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the future, 100%.
It is. I mean, we are here. It's not even the future. It's now. That's got to be the only machine in the fucking world that's only going to print motorcycle parts.
Motorcycle parts, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like a $500,000.
I don't know. There's
investment.
probably like something in a production factory doing that, you know?
It's just wild. Like when he was showing me what it was going to be capable of doing, the fact that they can like 3D metal print a casted part to have the same imperfections or the same texture as a casted part would have to give it that look so that you can like make these 3D casted cases or, you know, parts that are obsolete that are maybe there's only 2 made ever or these, you know, necks and things like that. Like to me, that's just wild.
It is wild.
You know, and it's crazy that I didn't do the research. I just took his word on this, but it's a forged, which I thought forged was heat and pressure, but I guess I don't know how that works with like a 3D metal print. I know there's heat involved. I don't know if there's pressure. I don't know how that would.
Yeah, well, there's pressure from the chamber.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking...
Where'd y'all do the podcast at?
Right next to that fucking ticket.
Oh, you went to a spot out there?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's fucking cool.
Dude, I was fucking riding around on Tom's 1921 original paint JD. And the fucking handlebars came out of the triple clamp, and I fucking wrecked it in a ditch, dude. Right out of the gate. Less than a mile from Sean's shop.
Damn.
Did you do a podcast with Tom?
No, Tom wasn't there. No.
Oh, dude. Fucking Tom Banks. That's his name, Tom Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Robbed 7 banks.
He robbed 7 banks?
Yeah, dude. Then fucking went and did 12 years in prison.
Uh-huh.
Got out, got his shit together. Now he's a respectable human in the community.
Dude, I feel like I need to go to prison and get out of prison to have a better chance at doing better in life.
Really? You think you need that kind of motivation? You're like,
I don't know what it is.
If I
Like,
go
I've
get butt
been-
fucked,
I've been
dude,
like-
it's on.
I've been like not in jail and I'm just struggling through my whole fucking life.
He's on the
Never
struggle
been to
bus.
jail?
Not for anything like real, like like street racing and shit like that. But
So you've been to jail.
yeah,
You at least been inside the clink for a
holding
night or two.
the holding
How,
cell.
so you didn't
I've
actually,
made trustee once in my life.
so you actually did like over a night in jail. You actually were in
I
jail.
did a week once.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have any money to bail myself out, so set it out.
Sick.
Yeah. But no, that like I think we spent like I can't remember the podcast because it wasn't super long, but we I think I was more amazed at all the Amish people when I was riding up there that I wanted
Really?
to talk about Amish people the whole time.
Oh,
and I didn't know
fuck.
anything about Mennonites, the difference. Like,
So you didn't learn about additive manufacturing?
no, you probably did a more thorough podcast than me. I'm like, dude,
Oh,
like,
I've done a...
what's it like knowing Amish people? Are they cool? Is it like fucking Sex Drive where it's like Rumspringer and all that shit, or is it kind of the movie Sex Drive was a great?
Jace is over there. Do they really turn butter?
Dude, they got great food.
They do.
Fucking Tom would bring us stuff from one of those places every morning. Muffins, or sandwiches. They bake their own bread.
I want to ask you this because you've traveled the bikes
Ask
a lot.
me, dude. Come on, that's what we're doing here.
One thing I did notice, like riding a lot of the back roads in the Northeast, there's a lot of American pride. Like you see these, like those banners that are like stars and stripes, but it's like a half circle that hangs on people's houses and shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy up there. Like you don't see a lot of state flags anywhere. It's all American flags everywhere. And then the more south you go, obviously you get more state flags and less American flags. It was a perspective of seeing, like when you're not on the highway, you're seeing these houses, you're passing, when you hit that 30 miles an hour going through a town thing, you see all these different things. I I'm not saying this like I think it's weird. I'm just thinking it's like it's a different perspective of how I feel like there's a lot more American pride in states that don't have like our state where we were a country of our own at one point. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because even when you go west, like you'll see California flags because that's like a hip hop culture thing or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But you don't.
And they got a bear on their flag. Dude.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, I get what you mean. In Arizona, it's the same thing. Those
Arizona flags are
they're
cool.
like proud Arizonians.
Well, there's flags out there that are actually cool designs. There's some that's like, yo, dude, what is that?
Well, each region really has a different kind of pride. Like New Mexico,
dude,
they're
Zia's
really
on
proud of being native New Mexicans.
Yeah.
And they don't leave. You know, you see Texans everywhere.
Yeah.
Texas, like we have like this state pride, but yet we move there's fucking Texans everywhere.
Yeah.
That are still proud to be Texans, but they don't live in Texas anymore. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of strange.
Yeah. Sus.
But yeah, it's just unique everywhere. I've never noticed what you just said, that in the North there's more American flags than there are state flags.
Mm-hmm. That's just something I kind of noticed. And of course, when you get in the city of New York, you don't see any of it, but any of the outskirts of it, like it's just this heavy, like red, white, blue stripes, stars all over the house, like to the point where it's like, goddamn, is it 4th of July up in this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like,
probably was.
Hey man, that's why they call them Yankees.
No,
Everyone that lives in the North,
that's
the American. That's that Yankee.
I mean, are you allowed to put up stuff for 4th of July and take it down? Because I feel like taking down the flag is worse than putting it up in the first place.
I mean, but be honest, like who wants to rock like the Ohio flag or the Pennsylvania flag?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's a lot of cool
shit.
flags
Nobody even
out
knows
there.
what they look like.
I mean, there was a North Carolina flag at the show on Saturday.
That's the South, though.
South, right?
That's the South.
Is that the cusp right there?
Those are the rebellious states. Remember, those are the ones that said,
yeah, on the front line.
yeah.
Okay, I was like to the rest of the Confederation. Yo, dude, we're getting all the fucking heat. Can y'all help us out? You send some troops, you know, something up here. We're just taking it all. We're the front lines.
They were.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, man. I thought it was unique when you're, like I said, when you're traveling and you get off the highway, you start seeing these differences based on like when I drive through downtown Waxahachie, you know what I mean? We have this little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like Waxahachie is known for these like Victorian style houses that are there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And they're nice. They're awesome. But you don't see like those American flags hang in the same way you see Texas flags or something like that. So I think it's a perspective thing. Like I noticed it a couple years ago riding through like Maine and all that. It's like all the Northeast. Obviously, that's like the original America shit. I think it's more prideful about America than it is their own individual states. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Just a unique perspective.
Fuck, those states are so small. You know
how much.
There's just not enough bang for their buck for them to make a state flag. Yeah. You know, like, nah, just run the fucking American flag. No. In Texas, you know, you can make enough of them to sell and, you know, get a good return on your dollar.
It's the Republic of Texas. This is the only state, actually, in the Union that's allowed to fly the state flag at the same height as the American flag. Every other state, it has to be below the American flag. But Texas, they can fly it equal to the U.S. flag.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a little fun fact.
I don't know.
So where are you going next year?
Next year? Fuck. Hopefully not to jail. No,
I thought it was like that was the key to success over there.
Well, I mean, maybe I can fucking just do a little stint and like come out and get some government assistance or whatever the hell.
Just fucking cross illegally.
Man, I don't.
Well,
I don't
he's
know.
going to EDR, so
Yeah.
I do want to do EDR is a big bucket list, and I want to do it with a bike that's going to create an experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been wanting to do a chopper for a long time.
Just going to Mexico will be an experience.
True, and that's kind of, to me, going with EDR from like going with the built well dudes down there. Like, it would be a good it'd be good for me to be able to kind of have that experience with people that know what they're doing. I'm just saying, like, if you say, hey, Jace, I'm going to Mexico, you want to come? I would probably take the opportunity to go with you. But there's just like this level of me.
There's a caveat.
There's going to be I'm going to have dinner with my family before I leave. I'm like, hey, look, I might not.
Do you not do that whenever I do that whenever I leave to go anywhere?
No, not my extended family. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna bring them all. We're gonna have a small family reunion before I go into cartel country, dude. The fucking where we're going next month is fucking gonna be so good. So it's like straight in, across the Chihuahua Desert, down into Copper Canyon, up and over the Sierra Madres, into Sinaloa, down the coast to San Pancho or Sayulita. Maybe, I mean, if we're making good time, maybe we'll go all the way to fucking Oaxaca. Hit Guanajuato, Zacatecas, Real de Catorce, Monterrey, and then like run back to the Alamo. Like that'll be the last thing we do is cross the border and go to the Alamo.
So do you think that like that's your favorite place to ride? Like going through Mexico and all that stuff? It's not favorite, like
favorite. I think it's one of my favorite places. It's just so it's right here.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just over there. It's easy. Fucking the food's good. The people are nice. Food is fucking great.
How complicated is it, or have you ever had any real complications getting through the border towns?
Yeah.
What's the biggest hangups?
Like trying to do it legally.
Meaning, this is me.
Like get the fucking paperwork. Like, you know, it's not even that complicated. Like doing it for the first time and being like, oh my God, I got to do what? You know?
Well, that's everything, right? Like it's the buildup of like the idea of doing something. So there's all this information out there, getting insurance for Mexico, all this other stuff, passport. I still don't even have a passport. You do all this stuff, and you're like,
you don't need one.
I'm not taking that advice. I tried to cross the border once without a passport, and they said no.
Into Mexico?
Yeah.
Where?
Big Bend. Go take the mule across to go get some tacos, and they said no.
Who said no?
The fucking state trooper or whoever the hell it was on this.
That is not. He can't even.
He told me to get out of the fucking thing, so I had to go wait by my bike. So
Are you going back? Are you going back to Big Bend in a couple weeks? Or did that already happen?
It would
Did
be
they
next
do that?
weekend.
It'd be Born Free weekend.
No, it's weekend before Born Free. So it's actually this weekend.
This weekend.
Now. Yeah. I can't make it. I love that area. Obviously, you know, it's a fucking amazing space in Texas. And my goal was to go back through there on the way to do El Diablo. Like, I want to ride this chopper off the highway, go through all these places. I still want to do Bisbee. I've never done that. And, do all that across the country and then cross the border. So, traveling is the shit, man. It's a really badass spot.
I know.
You don't really need an event to go experience it. You just need to go there. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean?
Dude, really, it's not that much fun, and you shouldn't go there.
You know what's dope is
Chase is full of shit, dude. That's
there was,
how you get in trouble.
The homies from Missoula, they did a trip to go down there, hang out, check it out, and they were coming to our camp out. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting at a campfire, and they're like, dude, we were just sitting there, and Danger Dan pulls up. And we were all sitting at a campfire talking all night. I was like, that's fucking... First off, that's a fucking Danger Dan story right there, if there's ever been one. You know what I mean? But, like, it's cool that, like, homies, all these other parts of the country, they come through Texas, and they have these kind of experiences through these personalities where
show up in the most beautiful place in Texas. Of course I'm going to show up. Like, what the fuck you guys doing here?
Yeah.
You make sure that you're good before I let you go on.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
No, they were fucking great, dude. Yeah. Motherfucker was like smoking a dab rig off of his fucking jet boil, dude. I was like, fuck, I thought that was a coffee maker. No. You use it for lots of things.
Yeah, those dudes are rad. Our whole crew, we were up there a couple years back, and they showed us a good time in the town of Missoula, which, college town, but there's some good dive bars and
fuck yeah,
stuff up there. Dude, I don't know.
What was his name?
Drew, and then I forget the other guy's name. I'd have to Google his Instagram. But Drew's the main dude that I connected with when we were up there. And he had another homie that also shoots photos and real cool.
And they were going to the Fast Life camp out,
yeah,
right?
They're coming to our camp out. So they kind of made a big loop. When they left Missoula in 2023, they left Missoula.
In a fucking snowstorm.
To come down, did the loop. I think they were hanging out with Evo. And then loop back up to the camp out. And then, so we always say is like, dude, don't make the camp out the only thing you're doing. Make it a part of like your trip, like everywhere you want to go on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And they fucking did it. That was really cool and inspiring to see them leaving those conditions up there. I mean, I've ridden Missoula a handful of times now, and it's like beautiful place, but I don't know when the snow lets up. I don't know when
is your camp out?
It's done. I'm not doing it anymore.
Really?
7 years.
Stopped at lucky number 7.
Yep.
When was it though? What time of year?
It was the end of May. So it was usually like we get a lot of people from the East Coast that were coming to our camp out on the way to EDR, because it was like our camp out weekend would usually be the weekend before EDR.
Gotcha.
So I loved it, man. It was a great time and it was a great experience. But like it needed to. We were talking about this on the Garage Talk the other day that didn't get released, but it was a good event. And honestly, if Giddy Up was still around, I mean, I think it would be great, but there was something intimate about it being what it was, and then it stopped. And then we get to reminisce and carry on and grow other things in life with this idea of like what was great about this thing. We're carrying that into other things. You know what I'm saying? Like the camp out wasn't designed to be a Born Free. It wasn't designed to turn into this like, 20,000 attendees and, attractions and whatever. It was designed to just be to get people off their ass to go figure out what it felt like to be on the road. Mm-hmm. And it did that for a lot of people that wanted to try. But then it gets popular, and then people that, I think on the Garage Talk I said, I think what started to kind of like make me not want to do it anymore, even though I was encouraging it, so I'm being hypocritical here, is that too many people were like getting RVs and stuff and not just riding their bike and camping with us and partying with us. And it was an RV. It was on the outskirts. There was another party going on. They weren't meeting people. It was supposed to be this thing like Giddy Up was. Like, hey, look, we're all coming here and we're going to mingle and we're going to become friends and grow our space.
Dude, next thing you know, Jace is going to be like, fucking only knuckleheads on this ride.
Right?
Generator motors only, dude.
I'm
keep your fucking campers at home and those fucking bullshit nose cone shovel heads. Yeah. We're only fucking riding.
Keep those fuel injected bikes out of our
older, dude.
I'm not that elitist.
Yet.
First off, well, here's the deal. One thing I've learned as I see things take shape and fucking unfold. And bike riders did a great job of portraying this.
Yeah.
And it's like common in all areas. Like when you create something that like attracts people, right? What you create ultimately gets influenced by the people that it attracts. And then you lose control of whatever it is you started because of the people that you attracted to it.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
I mean, that's just what happens, like if you create like whatever you create, like whatever you're attracting, that will ultimately influence what happens with whatever you created, no matter whether you like it or not. Because if you don't like it, they'll just fucking shoot you. And, they're going to do their own thing.
Knives or fists.
Didn't have guns. Who the fuck brings a gun to who doesn't bring a gun to a knife fight? Yeah. If you're fighting with weapons.
To that notion, like I get that, it's just when
I'm not saying anything bad about the people you were attracting to your event.
Yeah, it wasn't that they were bad. It's just that like there was something kind of special about like seeing Joe Kidd and the FXR guys from the West Coast kind of all link up and get this whole pilgrimage coming to the camp out, and then getting the camp out, creating their own little camp area, just like we did in Giddy Up back in the day, and then just making their own fucking thing happen. Like they embodied what that thing was about. And then it gets there's a lot of people that do that stuff.
You didn't experience the camp out if you haven't sat at a Joe Kidd gospel at 5 a.m.
around the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was intimate things like that. And then it starts to attract like I think if it attracts somebody who's interested to learn and be about it, or to learn and like be a student of that space, then I think that they fall in line with what everybody else is doing. But when you start in getting a lot of people there that don't want to, I'll come party at a campsite, but I'm bringing $2,000 worth of amenities and, a camper
Sick.
and all this stuff. Yeah, it is sick. But the thing is that like it takes away from the experience that we're talking about that inspired you want to come. And so in my opinion, like now there's no difference between, like, I don't know if you hear this a lot, but a lot of people bitch about like the cost of what it is to go to Born Free Texas, but they're bitching about it because those
are the same people who are like, oh, my cell phone costs so much money. I'm like, what are you
no,
doing with your fucking cell phone? Because that cell phone can fucking do so much money. That's like the best bang for your buck in anything you buy,
Well, what they're bitching about is because they're not bitching about the cost of Born Free. They're bitching about it because they added on an $800 fucking RV rental, right? I'm Born Free in a tent, man. Like you could buy a $100 ticket for all fucking or whatever the cost is for the entire 4 days of the event. Bring your car and your old lady and your fucking kids. Put up a fucking Taj Mahal tent with air mattresses everywhere.
Dude, I'm bringing a fucking canvas wall tent, dude.
And then you could literally have the most like you're still sleeping out in the elements, but like you have like comfort, and you're in it for $100, dude. Or if you go buy a fucking, you go rent a RV site for X amount of dollars, and then you go rent a camper because you don't own one, and you're like bitching because it's $1,500 to go to Born Free. It's like, bro, like nobody told you to fucking bring your house. You know what I'm saying? Come party. Like you shouldn't, if you're doing it right or you're doing it to your ability, whatever that may be.
Within your means,
like, dude, don't shit on the fact that some dude, like we need things like this in Texas. There's a scalable aspect of you can enjoy Born Free Texas however you want to enjoy it. If you want to get a fucking RV and be $2,000 in the hole, like with all these amenities,
you should have already fucking done it because they're sold out.
Exactly. And the reason why they can sell,
actually, just the rental spot, just the spots are so you can still park an RV anywhere.
Yeah. But the people that want to come out there and enjoy 4 days, remember when we went to fucking Rot Rally? Remember Danger Doug, whatever the fuck his name was? Remember that back in like
I remember
17?
going to the Rot Rally.
Yeah, remember the fucking Evil Knievel dude? His name was Danger Doug or something like that. And me, you, and remember Brad? We were hanging around the fucking mile thing all night. 2017, dude. Long time ago.
I remember this, but I don't remember Danger Doug.
He was a fucking like the Evil Knievel dude jumping things. Doug Danger or something like that.
I don't remember.
He had like a cane and everything. The cane, apparently, like Evil Knievel gave him the cane or some shit.
Dude,
like
the fucking Rot Rally is wild, dude.
But
Rot Rally, stripper poles and swimming pools and fucking titties everywhere, dicks swinging. I remember fucking at one point, there was like a golf cart filled with naked dudes, a couple of girls, and then they were hauling a trailer with a stripper pole on it with some girl dancing on the pole.
Yep.
There was a fucking giant dildo sticking off the front of this fucking thing, right? Mm-hmm. And the cop just like waved him over, like, hey, And this dude gets out, dick swinging, goes up to the cop, and the cop's like, if you could just keep her from dancing on the pole while you're moving, I'd appreciate that. While this is happening, he's not, the dude's just standing there with his dick touching the guy's fucking belt buckle and pistol, One of the girls has gotten out and is taking a shot of Fireball out of the dildo on the front of this thing. While the cop's just like, would you guys like not dance while you're riding around in the parking lot?
We don't want you to
And the
trip
motherfucker gets back in there with his fucking dick hanging out and they drive off. Like, I was just like, no fucking way. I think they're coming to Born Free, Texas.
For real? The funny story is like that plate. They had this whole run of like nude rallies that would go around Texas. It was bike rallies that turned into kind of like nude rallies basically, and they did one in Alvarado like back in like 2010.
Dude, they used to do it at Yellow Rose Canyon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. It's like Yellow Rose Canyon used to do it, and it got a bad reputation in Henderson and all these areas of like, oh, that's where all that crazy shit goes down.
Yeah,
that's God's country over there, dude. Like you can't do shit like that. But
you can do it in Alvarado.
You can do it in Alvarado.
Right up there with rednecks with paychecks.
Exactly. But my point is that...
What was your point?
Rot Rally back in the day, it used to cost like, I think the height of it the last time I went and I paid to be there, was like 2015, and it was like $170 a ticket per person to get into that thing.
Whoa.
Yeah. And you could camp there somewhere. That little field I think we camped in. I don't know if you camped there, but we did. But there was like, look, there's all this shit you can do. Figure it out. Like, but if you want to be here and you want to stay here at night, this is what it costs to be
I think
here.
I went to like some park and slept with some homeless people because I was like, I can't fucking do dicks swinging around in golf carts. I'm not fucking going to sleep here.
Well, that's because they all have RVs.
Dan thought he was
I
going to
didn't-
wake up and someone's penis.
I
was
wasn't
gonna be
taking fucking chances, dude. I don't want to get squirted by Fireball.
Dude, I remember you having a time of your life there.
I had a great time, and then I got the fuck out of there. I mean, did you not just hear my story? Like,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fucking wild. I'm pretty sure I went there that one time. Somebody, I think that was when Bob had his
Yeah,
little
Bob
builder
K.
show.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Bob's
When I
invited us.
fucking conned Carlos into being on my podcast.
No, he wasn't on your podcast yet.
Yeah.
No. I was, because me and Carlos, I was trying to get Carlos to do my podcast. Or no. Carlos did do your podcast till y'all did the fucking, the 500, the Mint. Is it the Mint one?
No. Yeah, I have him on before that.
You
like
did?
just a small recording.
Oh, that fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Because we all went there, because Carlos, we were all hanging out pretty heavy at the time. Because Carlos is the one that taught me how to TIG weld back in the day, or back in 17.
No wonder you're still not building anything yet.
Exactly. I'm like,
Fucking
waiting on it.
goddamn rocket scientist, dude.
But no, that we had that bike show. That's when I had that gold FXR. I just finished that, and we all went to. We had the bike show inside that dome or that stadium there, and yeah, that was. I mean, honestly, that rock rally was very pivotal in our fucking history. That's where my relationship with Simpson was created.
Nice.
Drinking margaritas with those guys. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, good times.
Remember Jeff Holt was like, he saw my chopper. He's like, dude, I really like choppers. Like, choppers is where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Never seen him on a chopper.
Yep. He's good at making you feel good.
Dude, Jeff's great, dude.
Yeah. It's the best. But no, it's man, it's been a wild podcasting. It's weird. It's weird how like it takes you down these paths of shit. Like me personally, like
I mean, Carlos, out of the three of us at that point, he'd fucking turned it on right. He just went and now he's building rockets. We're still fucking looking at each other, talking about it.
you know what they say though?
What?
It makes it
Who's
all.
they?
It makes just people that like Carlos. It equals out because they say, "I'm living vicariously through you. I love what you do."
Carlos is never
Keep
going to
doing
say
it.
that.
He says it to me every once in a while.
No, he fucking does not. If he says that to you, there is so much fucking sarcasm. It's like probably just like drool, like coming out of his mouth like drool as he's saying it.
He said it once.
Is that the guy that came to Bike Night one night and you guys were having like a argument?
No, that's a was.
Oh, fucking love a wasp.
A was is a good time. No, was came to bike night and we decided to shit talk each other, but he didn't know that when you shit talk each other, you got to let me talk too. He just like would talk over me. He was like he would say something.
No, that means you're not very good at shit talking.
Dude, I am one of the
There's
best.
not, obviously not. If you couldn't even put any words out
No, I
because he
can't
was
put words
talking
out,
over
but if
you.
you don't let me talk. I can shit talk with the best of them.
Obviously not, because Awas is one of the best, and you weren't able to shit talk with him.
Well, he didn't know the rules. He didn't understand that this is a turn-based system, man.
No, you didn't understand that it's not.
That's just
Was there like a time limit? What do you need, like one of those fucking timer deals, like on
No,
a
I
chess
just
match? Like,
need-
all right, Awas,
right.
Awas is my turn.
a wasp. You give me the best you got, and then this is British American fighting. You shoot, I shoot. You shoot, I shoot. Hopefully,
This
we'll
is
see.
America. There's nothing British about it.
We just came.
He did some guerrilla warfare
full
shit
circle
talking.
back to politics. You got to cut the mics. You got to cut mics on people.
No, I wasn't. Well, you know, he was on one that night.
He's fucking great.
He's a good dude. I love him. But he was on one that night.
He did come in guns a-blazing that night, like just talking mad shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And no one knew who he was, and he just showed up, and it was just like, wham, Jace, bam. He just was like hitting him with uppercuts. It was like, damn, what the?
Dude, one night me and Carlos were in California, and he fucking is one of my favorite shit talkers ever. And he was talking
sarcasm.
He was talking so much shit about my podcast, and we were hanging out with this girl who had recently, I think, started a podcast or was going to, and she didn't know who he was, and she literally at one point got offended that he was making fun, and I'm just laughing so hard that she was getting mad at Carlos for talking shit, and I was loving every second of it, dude.
That's the glory thing about shit talking is shit talking is supposed to, it's making fun of the kind of true things that are like, you know, like the intentions might not be there, but it's true.
The good shit talking is good because there is a smidgen of truth in those comments.
Yeah, but it kind of like undermines and destroys the idea that someone that's not in this space or not in whatever space it is, it shits on it in a sense. Like it's the whole influencers in the wild kind of like, you know, the Instagram page. It's a joke on people trying to create stuff.
Influencers in the wild.
Good fucking follow.
I don't know this one.
It's a good follow. I don't know if you follow it, Devin. Basically, it's just like it's people trying to do influencer shit, and they're getting caught by somebody else filming them, and it's cringy.
So
as
it
fuck.
shows how silly it actually is. Like,
oh, it's silly. I fucking set a camera up. I set my phone up on a ladder this week and made a video.
What'd you do? Did you fall?
No,
Or you just trying to make a.
I was just telling people about the party. I was like, they're not going to watch Jace's podcast when I talk to them, so I fucking better put it out on my own.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to tell people what was going. Really, the costume part. I'm like, fucking come dressed up because it's going to be a party and it's going to be fun. That's what
I think Dylan, Tattoo Dylan, he's Post Malone, 100%. When he's not braided up, he's just kind of like got his hair down.
Yeah.
Heavy Post Malone vibes.
Yeah,
But, I mean-
maybe he'll do it. He'll be fucking bit. That motherfucker just works all the time,
That's all he
everywhere he
does,
goes.
yeah.
He just fucking draws on people. Like that's
Fucking-
what he does
He's busy.
everywhere.
You had talked about earlier, like playing music and shit, and I thought it was really rad at Nitty Gritty this year watching you guys play on that fucking.
Dude, that fucking treehouse blew down in a storm. It's gone.
You did? Oh, it did. Fuck that. I thought it was wild hearing the story leading up to it. It's like, hey, yeah, apparently somebody like bought the treehouse or they rented the treehouse for the weekend, and then all of a sudden it became like the stage for a concert tonight. And all of a sudden Dan's in a little fucking room in here playing. You got fucking Kickstart Mike up there fucking on the harmonica was fucking badass. And it's like watching you guys play up there, and dude, that was a fucking dope experience, man.
That was good, wasn't it?
It was a good time.
I was like, all right, Eric, we're not playing on your stage. No, he was like, what? I was like, just trust me. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
And then I get down there and he takes me around to all these different places, and I see that treehouse, and I'm like, oh, that's where it's fucking happening. He's like, I guess, yeah, sure.
That was a good time.
We
I'm
set up
excited.
there, dude, and some girl shows up. Fuck, I wish I remembered her name. She was at Burnouts the other night, and she's like, I paid for this. I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't know that this was a rentable space.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, she was stoked. We had a party. She slept up there the first night, and then when we go to set things up, I literally fucking threw her tent out of the top of that thing with the mattress in it and everything. It was all fucked up. And I was like, I'll fix it after the show, right? After the show, she's just like, fuck this, and crammed the whole thing into her trunk and left. I was like, God damn it, I'm an asshole.
Hey, well,
I'm glad that I saw her at Burnouts, and she was still smiling at me, though.
She was
that
cool with it.
I mean, I don't know if she was cool with it. She put up with it, you know.
she tolerated it.
She tolerated it.
that
well.
was a good time though. That was a unique experience at that place. On stage, it would have been another stage thing, but like you said, finding that unique, you know, just
Well, after we did the fucking Wall of Death show, you know, playing there. I mean, the way we recorded our first album in the Cosmic Shed. You know, we're not doing this for a living.
yeah.
I'm doing it because it's fun, right? So, you know, nothing against playing on stages and entertaining people. That's all fine and dandy. I just, you know, years ago I played in a punk rock band. We would fucking play in the craziest places, like On the Bowl. We played this one fucking big ass festival in Austin, and next to the stage we were gonna play on, there was a half pipe, and they were there's some sick ass skaters. And I talked to the sound guy. I'm like, here's the deal. When we go on, and we were going to play at like 7, like right as the sun was setting, I was like, we're not playing on the stage. Can you bring just like a few of these things, speakers, and we're going to play on the half pipe? Dude, it was fucking sick. Somebody was like doing stalls on my kick drum while we were playing. It was sick as fuck. Oh, yeah, I just like doing things a little differently, you know?
Yeah.
Treehouse was sick. Now nobody will ever get to play in the treehouse again because that fucker's gone, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's probably. I think that spot for Nitty Gritty is probably. It's a good find. It's a good spot.
It's a fucking
badass
legendary
place.
spot, dude.
And it's only going to grow from there. Like I'm really looking forward to this next year. But that's the part about like going to these events when they are in the grassroots stages of their existence. You know what I'm saying? Like being a part of like the things that happen, good or bad, that make it the way it is later on. You know, like I wish I would have experienced Sturgis at at the Main Street Park or whatever the fuck it was called. It's not Central Park, that's New York, but
City Park.
City Park. Yeah, like it's before my time, but it's like that would have been rad to be able to experience that version of that event. But we might be experiencing a version of a lot of things in the world of what we do that may be fucking not
You were at the
existent.
first Born Free Texas, bro. Fucking sick as shit, hanging out in your tent by yourself.
With a fever.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's that feel?
I was there.
You
In
were
a tent.
there. You were there.
Yeah. I was in my own world, baby.
Did you do a T-shirt for that year?
I did a T-shirt the first year, not the second year. I got this shirt for this year. So
Oh, look at you. You're already wearing it. Look at the fucking Halloween orange and shit. Is there a pumpkin on the back, dude?
it's
What do you got, a
peach.
jack-o'-lantern back there?
It's peach, brother.
That's peach.
Yes. No, I got.
Is there
a designer
peach? Is there a
now. He's a
peach on the
designer.
back?
Yeah, dude, I gotta pee again so bad.
Are you fucking serious?
Dude, it's like
Was this hour number 2?
We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh
31
my God.
minutes.
Just make it 29 more minutes with me. Piss in that cup, dude. Underneath the desk.
oh, it's so
Come
little,
on, Ari.
It's so little right
Come
now.
on, Ari.
Let's go to that. We'll go to the zoomed out, the camera 3.
I really gotta pee really bad. You wanna go pee with me, Dan?
Yep.
All right.
Piss, dude.
They haven't talked to them. There's like 6 people watching.
No, 26 actually. These guys are out of control. It's the battle of the podcasters tonight.
Let's go.
It's probably a good time to remind everybody to come to the Born Free pre-party at Strokers Wednesday before Born Free. The FXR tour is going to come through. We're going to have a good time. It's always a good, nice rager, nice way to start the weekend. So come out, and then Thursday roll out to Born Free.
Bro, these fucking 805s like great conversation beers.
Right? Dude, I'm telling you.
They run right through you though.
Those 805 cervezas are fucking fantastic.
So I drank a 6-pack already.
Right? I'm actually impressed, man. You haven't turned into Jose. You've been.
I told you I'm retiring that dude. I'm not trying to be that guy anymore. Anybody say anything on there? Anything
Yeah.
important?
Yeah. Chris Yaw said Danger Dan is hilarious. Jose Tajerna said make this country great again when you guys were talking politics. Which I want to say, Jace, when politics came up, that was the most uncomfortable I've ever seen you in any podcast. That's the only time I've ever seen you feel uncomfortable.
I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't want to. I don't. There's just. I don't know. I just don't really know enough to really
I get it.
be a dude.
Dan, I do
Rejected.
need you to do me one favor. I need you I need you to convince Jace, because for years Jace has hated New Mexico, and he says that
Good.
it's
It
bull.
fucking sucks, dude.
Fuck that.
It fucking sucks,
First
dude.
off, he's just
New Mexico is terrible.
he's just
Fuck
saying
that.
shit.
It's
What-
just
what
fucking,
part-
dude.
You did
bunch of
say when
native
you
people.
broke down you did say when you broke down it was a lot better. You got to actually see that there's some like nice aspects of New Mexico.
He just made a very broad generalization of a statement I might have made drunkenly on a podcast at some point in my life.
Well, here's the deal. You said it. It's true.
Calm down. What specifically did I say I hated about New Mexico?
Well, okay, so if I'm going to get more specific about it, you did say, because I said there is actually some nice places in New Mexico. You're like, yeah, on the way to Colorado, which is better anyway, so you might as well just go to fucking Colorado.
I did say
There you
that.
go. That's
Yeah, I
exactly
did
where
say
you
that.
should go.
Colorado is nice,
Colorado.
but there is some nice areas in New Mexico.
No.
If he gets off the fucking highway, cut it out, Dan.
No, there's not, dude. Colorado's so much better than New
I like to ride
Mexico.
through like the rural parts of New Mexico to say I did it like somebody's ancestors did. Somebody rode a wagon through there. I can ride my bike through it. Let's go.
I didn't get dysentery and I didn't fucking die.
Yeah, Colorado's way better.
Colorado
When
is
you
nice.
get up where you're like Red River, all that shit, like that's fucking Colorado, dude. Like
No,
honestly,
it's not.
New Mexico should have started at like Santa Fe. Santa Fe is like the border of New Mexico and Colorado. That's where it should have started. Let's be real.
That's where the Rockies start.
Yeah.
I think
John
New
Denver
Mexico,
is not full of shit.
New Mexico should do a better job at promoting the Rockies, and not the.
No, New Mexico's fucking done it just right.
Dude.
People like you
Cimarron.
don't like it, dude. They're like, it's
No, there's
Dan just says that because he doesn't want other motherfuckers over there
love
taking up
parts
his
of
space that he gets, his ambiance that he gets to enjoy.
Dude, I
over
think
there.
is it
Ruidoso.
Ruidoso is like an area that could be like a Sturgis,
Dude, Ruidoso, Cloud
like
Craft,
a
that
like
whole
a
area's
like
bad.
a bike rally that really just leans into it. Like it's a
They
small.
have a big bike rally there.
It's just not.
It's that Aspen Cash shit, though, and it's just it's terrible. They do it at a racetrack.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Racetracks are where rallies start.
A fucking horse racetrack. It's terrible.
It's race bikes out there.
Yeah.
Now, okay, if they did that, I could
I
fuck
mean,
with
Fandango's at a horse racetrack, and it's bad as fuck.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You said we are gonna come up here and go hard as fuck, dude. What do you want to do?
So what are you doing now, Jace?
I'm fucking lost, dude. That's why I had you on the
What,
podcast.
no, I'm asking you. What are you doing?
I
you're
followed
not
you in
painting. You're not
podcasting.
painting much right now. You're trying to ride your chopper around the country.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, years ago, you're like this fucking performance bagger thing. It's the next thing.
It is, and it was the next.
I
thing.
know. That's why I'm asking, what's next, dude? You're so smart then. You had that figured out. You influenced all these people into fucking tricking out their baggers and going racing. They even started a racing league because of you.
Calm down.
What's next, dude?
First off, I love the sarcasm. I love the shit talk, and because
that was like all serious stuff, dude.
yeah.
Because I literally was like, there is no fucking way bagger racing is going to work. It has worked.
Dan's like, damn, I missed the mark on that one.
I mean, I just, I am out of touch. Like on so many levels, shit that I don't think is going to work ends up working. Even when it comes to my t-shirt company, when I'm like, that art, it's fucking people love it, and the shit that I'm stoked about, people are like, that's all right.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm-
how that's how it is, The things that you do that you love the most is usually not the thing that connects with people. It could be just like a taste thing, like a tastemaker kind of thing.
I know. That's what I'm acknowledging, that I don't have the mass mainstream taste.
No, I'm acknowledging that you might have it, and it might just be kind of before it's appealing to everybody else. So, but what's next for me? I'm the most lost I've ever been in my life.
For real.
Fucking for real. Like I'm a product of a lot of the influence that have I think has pushed me down the right path, that I'm enjoying where I've become. To be honest with you, like the most thing I'm stoked about, is like using Born Free Texas this year to really create a booth and try to like make T-shirts and prints and all this shit has been a journey with my wife. Right, it's been something that we've enjoyed together and built a separate business together. And by together, I mean her. Like she kind of like stepped in and like, is creating something that like, I've never had merchandise in this brand. I've never had a lot of things. I've never had anything to sell other than a paint job or, a Patreon subscription. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my wife's helping me, helping us create that for our world. And that's kind of very exciting, like sharing that with her. Like this van that I sold an FXR that I had bought earlier this year, and we bought this van. And it's kind of like something that we experienced together.
What kind of van?
It's a G20 or G10 actually, 95. Like it's pretty tricked out. I dig it. Like we're gonna bring it to Born Free, sleep in it, and all that stuff. But like on Sundays now, it's like, hey baby, you want to go cruise the van? Like it feels different to go do that and spend time with her, doing the things I would normally do on a bike. But I'm doing it with her. Like I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
It's the Evo chopper version of a boogie van.
Yeah. It is, honestly, it's a good fucking analogy right there. I've been, so many years, it's just been about promoting everybody else and trying to just stay relevant enough in our world to continue. Like, I make money doing a podcast, no doubt, but I don't make enough money to live. I have to paint bikes. I have to do other things to sustain this. This studio wasn't built on podcast money, So it's paint work that still is the money maker for us. So, and I love painting, and that's not gonna go away. But man, I want to build my own bike. I want to fabricate. I'd love in the next 5 years of my life to be able to be at a point where I could be a Born Free invited builder. You know what I'm saying? Build a bike on my own in my own shop with my own tools, not rely on as many people as I would have to now. But I'm also trying to be always trying to be as transparent as possible, because I think no matter how talented you are as anything you do, it's always going to be connected of a village to build a bike, right? A lot of people come together to help you. Yeah. But yeah, next, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm so lost. I want a new bagger. I really do. The only thing I have is an 84 FXR frame, full body over there that's like needs to be built, and then I have the chopper FXR. I want a new bagger to be able to jump on it and turn around and say, you know what, I need to go to LA for the weekend and go do some podcasts and do some shit, and I can rip back home.
Why can't your chopper do that?
It can. My back can't. It's fucking, dude. I
thought you had suspension on that thing,
dude. I also look. I weigh more than you, so even every time
you're like, I'll buy a big bagger. That'll solve that problem.
Man, I don't have a great explanation as to why right now, but it's like the FXR is super reliable, 100%. It is. But having a bagger and the wind protection, I can use it more to get to point A to point B. Like if I'm going on a trip to document, photograph, YouTube, wherever the fuck, and like share the story of going on this trip, that's a trip that I'm doing for myself. But if I'm like, I need to be in LA in 2 days to go do a podcast and then maybe do a little podcast run in LA and Phoenix, I'm not trying to show people like that. I'm trying to just go do the job and take the opportunities to go sit down with people, experience that, and then get
Are you still doing the video thing?
I can do video on the road now. Yeah. I did.
Have you been doing like the vlogs? Because you were like going
Preach it,
down that
Dan.
road.
Preach it, Dan.
You made like this fucking sweet video with Matt Jackson, and then I never saw anything else.
Well, I did do some vlogs last year. I did like 13 vlogs on top, like separate from podcasts, like just like, hey, this is what we're doing in the shop. I documented most of the FXR build last year. The inaugural ride to Durango, I documented all that. And then, I just got really, I had too many ideas coming into this year and not enough time to do any of them. And so it just kind of like, it was a bottleneck. It was just clogged up with too much enthusiasm and ideas and not enough time to execute any of them. And I feel pretty at the end of this year, like looking at what I've tried to accomplish, I feel like I accomplished way less because I had too many things I was trying to do.
Yeah, easy.
You know what I mean? So
easy. That's easy to do.
It's
So
hard.
no vlogs this year?
No, we were talking about this on the last little garage talk. I was, Devin's been doing some vlogs on his page, and watching him grow and learn and evolve in that is like kind of invigorated the idea of doing so. But like I don't want to waste people's time. I want to make sure that whatever I'm trying to show them is at least interesting to me or something. You know, come out and just be like, hey guys, guess what? I'm gonna show you how I drove to work today and sat at my shop and did nothing. Like I'm just I want to make it to be interesting. You know, I did the whole Texas time camp out last weekend.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was fun, dude. Giddy up. I mean, old school giddy up camp out vibes. I had a great time down there. I got really wasted, met some cool dudes. And then, you know, like I vlogged the whole, I filmed the whole thing except for the good parts, which was us drunk as fuck at the old giddy up part, you know? That's what sucks when you do those kind of things, when you start like vlogging or trying to share an experience, is that you see what's out there for the world, like all these brands, and a lot of them I'm fortunate to know them very well. But what's allowed to be shown through YouTube or what's acceptable, and not that anything's going on that's like bad. It's just that like, you know, like,
Is it something they want to be associated with?
yeah, it's like, oh, well,
Is it something you want to be associated with?
I kind of want to, but at the same time, I don't want to be the guy that has to explain. I'm not trying to explain, this is motorcycle, this is what this is about. Like when you go out to a fucking campground and everybody's drinking and having a good time, this is what it's about. You know what I mean? Like
That's one thing it's about.
Oh, well, that's part of it. I mean, you don't have to drink when you go to these like campouts. You can be sober. We have a lot of great sober friends that come out and be a part of like Robert Cheek was with us the whole time this weekend, hanging out, good time, listening to my drunk ass trying to make a sentence. And he was like, good job, Jace. I understood that. Like he's the best ambassador for a sober guy at a fucking, you know, motorcycle event. You know what I'm saying? For like that, right? But
Oliver's pretty good too.
Oliver's weird because you never know if he's like, his personality is like so different than like a normal person. Like I don't feel like I know anybody like Oliver. I know a lot of.
He's charged up, dude.
To the point where you feel like he was on coke all the time, straight up.
I don't know about that.
I do, and you know, like it's my thing. It's like he has an energy to him that is different than what a lot of people come around like, and it's unique and it's different. And I know he's sober, and I know he don't fuck. I fucked around and invited him and Milburn to a fucking the birria taco fucking party we had.
Shit.
I'm like, I forgot they were both vegans. I'm like, hey, come over here where we're drinking all fucking day and eating tacos, birria tacos. And I forgot, oh yeah, y'all don't drink or eat meat. So I'm like, fuck, we had no vegan options or water.
That was very thoughtful of you.
Slipped my mind.
I just trying to have the hospitality and be
Jeff's
be a
not
good friend.
fucking full vegan yet.
Not yet. He's working his way there. But, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I want to build this bike, you know, and I want to maybe document it on videos next year and get back in that swing of things. But, like, I just want to be honest and real on videos. I don't want to do shit for fucking clickbait. And
Okay. I think we went down a different path than what I was headed. Where is the industry going?
Oh, you didn't say the industry. I thought you
Well,
said
I'm
where
saying
am I
it now.
going?
Well, I did.
Where's the industry going?
I caught that.
Hot take?
You did ask it.
Hot take?
Yep.
Hot take.
Hot take. I think
What is he
that,
got a sound effect for that?
Right. Air horns. Brr, brr, brr.
Hot take. Come on.
I think that like the performance scene has gotten to a point where it's there's nothing unique about it anymore. Like at first, and I've said
Does
this,
putting racing numbers on your bike still add more horsepower?
No, but maybe that's an individuality thing. I don't clown that. What I clown is like not clown, but what
It does.
I had racing numbers on that. That's my daughter's soccer number, 19 on that.
It adds more horsepower.
Maybe, or makes it break down more because it's an unlucky number. I don't know. But anyway, I think that like the performance bagger world, being kind of a part of it early on, like you got to be a part of like this like niche group of people that were like doing things in different parts of the country, and we all connected very quickly. Similar to the way the blogs connected of the chopper community together early on before the boom of it happened, right? Which I've learned about by doing podcasts. we all just connected through social media and podcasting, right? And it brought us all together. And then after 2020, I always tell people 2020 and 2021 were like the height of being a part of this. It was still a niche thing, but like you were still the outcast if you were the guy on a road glide with T-bars. Like you pull up to any bike night or any place with motorcycles, you were still the not the outcast, but you were the oddball out. Like you didn't have the style of bike that everybody else did. And now it's like everybody has it.
Everybody's listening to your favorite band.
Exactly. Well, exactly what it is, right? It's that kind of thing, but it's really it's
so you
hard.
didn't really like the performance bike.
It's a great
You
bike.
liked it because it was like fresh and new.
Honestly, and still to this day, it's the best fucking thing out there as far as like doing what you want it to do for the money you're spending. Like it performs, it does what you need. You can ride it across country. Like there's not really a better bike as far as like technology and all that kind of stuff, like bang for your buck, all that kind of
It's very
stuff.
practical. It's
It's the most practical thing. Like you're getting everything you need. It's not a bad thing to do. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for culture behind it, what I feel like has started to happen is that the culture has become less involved with each other and more like, well, I bought all the things that I saw that I needed to have. Now I don't need to have a personality, or I don't need to connect with people. So there's a lot of people who have this shit that 6 years ago, we would have been best friends because we were the only ones doing it. And now that everybody's doing it, there's like these standoff parties. It's exactly what happened in Big Wheel Baggers. Exactly what happened, right? Early days of Big Wheel Baggers, there's some people doing some rad shit on those things. And then it just got fucking ridiculous. And then nobody talked to each other. The scenes separated. You had this crew. It was all different shops just fighting each other. It was just drama. It's like, why do you want to fucking put money in a bike?
Is this why you're like, there needs to be some gatekeeping?
Yes, there needs to be gatekeeping in this world. You know, like it's never going to happen. You can't gatekeep this. You can't gatekeep a big movement of motorcycles. You just can't. It's too big. It's beyond like anything that.
Not when people's livelihoods involved. They won't, because someone's going to sell it. Mm-hmm. If you don't sell it, someone else is going to.
Part of like the camp out ending was because back in the day it was performance baggers riding across country with whatever was available, because back in the day there wasn't 100 shops making products for these bikes. It was like, how do you make this Dyna part fit a bagger, and how do you, like, there was a couple key brands making stuff to make this stuff work, and I'm fucking at fault. I'm the one that was like on here, we need more people to make more parts so we can have individuality. I didn't realize that the more brands got involved, the more it like would separate the actual connection of people riding the bikes. So now it's like, back in my opinion, like you would find performance baggers through only like 4 or 5 channels like 4 years ago. Now it's like, how'd you find out about this? Like
Peacock.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like,
oh, I bought my bike at the dealership. Like, this was already set up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so there's like, not that I'm looking for individual praise, nothing like that, but it's just like this. I got to experience something very special with performance baggers that I don't think exists anymore, and I think that maybe that's why my taste for that bike, or my lust for a new experience or a new connection like that, is so heavy right now. I love the bikes. I want another one just for the fucking amazing convenience and comfort and bang for your buck, if you will. But there's just something that I'm searching for, and maybe it's choppers, maybe it's fucking gold wings, man. I don't fucking know, dude. But I'm searching for like a place that felt like to go to Giddy Up, or our first camp out, having Steve Chamberlain on his fucking bagger he just bought, ripped down from fucking Michigan, and ride it like insanely, and then fucking ride it fucking crazy home. And like that kind of energy doesn't really exist in our scene anymore, in the performance bagger scene. And now it's a lot of really nice bikes and a lot of clicks, and nobody fucks with each other. Everybody's like, oh, that dude's an asshole, or you never met him, just assumes because they were at the same parking lot once and nobody talked to each other. So they just made their assumptions and went their own ways. It's gotten too big to be connective. or to be a community anymore. Now it's like it's a small country with a lot of states, factions. That's my hot take. But I love the bikes. They're fucking awesome. Especially I want those new road glides are fucking sick, dude. I love them. I want one.
So now you're looking for the next niche.
Maybe I'm
to connect with. Fall in love all over again.
I said this while I was on my trip. I have a wanderlust for experience. Not so much travel, not so much that, just experience. Just like, I want to experience a hardtail. It's not that I'm fucking like, I got a hard on for choppers. It's just that it's the most unpractical thing to ride across country this day and age. And
it depends on what your goals are.
Well, I mean, unpractical meaning like, why buy a fucking G10 van when I could have bought a newer modern van with better reliability? Like, there's a feeling to ride that thing, to driving that with my wife. You don't go cruise a fucking Ford E250 2014. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, people do that all the time.
Cool, that's weird, but you know what I mean? I don't get that. Like, it feels cool to cruise that van we have. Now, I could have bought an Astro van that, you know, it was just like every other Astro van out there doing whatever, but
I'm sure there's a Dodge Caravan Facebook group right now.
All I'm saying is that, like, there's a feeling that comes with these other experiences, and I'm not looking for a community as much as I was whenever we were part of the performance bagger world. I'm just looking for individual experience now. So I'm like, look, people that have followed the journey or been a part of the podcast listening, like, yo, this is where I'm at. I love these bikes. The performance bagger community doesn't fulfill the cup anymore as far as the community aspect, but it does with the actual motorcycle, just not the community side of it, not the friends and the people and that anymore. Not that I'm being very contradictory here, but I'm not trying to say it's bad people. It's just different agendas now than it was when it was a smaller group of people doing it.
Absolutely.
You know,
everybody likes to listen to your favorite band. It's fucking hard to
it's 100%.
It's great seeing a band. You know, when I saw Sturgill Simpson at the fucking little bar across from Elm Street Tattoos.
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
Yeah,
I'm see him at a fucking casino and you're like, oh, what the fuck just happened?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like, this is bad. I'm just saying that it's not appealing to me anymore because
it just doesn't move you.
I got to experience it in a different way.
So where's the industry going? What's the next?
I don't know. I mean, I can only speak on my own feelings about it. I think the industry is going to continue to lean into these bikes, and for lack of a better term, Harley, not really a term, but like Harley's really on top of producing the kind of bikes that people want right now. It's if you really pay attention to the last 20 years, it's like they've been 5 years behind or maybe a couple years ahead, but never on the market. And when they dropped the fucking Road Glide STs and stuff this year, and the new Road Glides and all the things that they've done to these bikes to kind of the ST, the lowrider a couple years ago, they've created the bikes that I think the public really wants. So in a sense, as good as that is, it's also what's helped speed line or whatever the term would be to make this so mainstream that it's not appealing to certain people anymore. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Not to talk shit about it, not to say it's bad. It's awesome for anybody getting into this shit, but somebody looking for deeper connections, it's kind of hard to find right now. For me, at least. That's just still off topic. Where's the industry going? It's going the same direction. There's more people going to keep making more parts, and as it gets more popular, China's going to copy these parts, and they're going to be China knockoffs, American. You know, it's going to be that fight that happened in Big Wheel Baggers. Same shit. You make a lot of things that are like selling a lot. China's going to copy it. And all these smaller garage CNC people are going to have a hard time.
Do they copy it because the manufacturers over here outsource the manufacturing, and then they start noticing that?
No, because they easily can order a part from here, get sent there, copy every aspect of it, and just make it. I mean, I don't know if they do
people do that here in America.
Yeah, but over there it's crazy because they'll do it with like cheaper quality aluminum and things like that. Like PM, Arlen Ness, and a lot of those companies had it the worst for a long time. I think there were some things that happened to where they couldn't, like China couldn't brand this as an RLNS part because on like eBay, because people were going on eBay and you could buy something that was truly RLNS for $150, or you can buy it, this knockoff Chinese eBay version of it with RLNS branding on it for 75, like half price. And so everybody was buying that shit. And then when it would fail, they were trying to get RLNS or PM or Roland Sands to.
So they're doing like copyright infringement. They were selling it as a authentic part when it wasn't.
Yeah, but they don't have the same rules in China with that to do that stuff. So, so I think something happened. I could be completely wrong, but I think something happened where they couldn't do that anymore. But there's still a lot of knockoff parts on eBay and all that stuff. What ends up happening is like when a scene gets popular, that's what happens. They copy all that shit and they flood the market with cheaper versions of it. How does that impact a bigger brand? Not much, but if you're a small brand, you know.
Oh, I think even big brands, because your people are not buying the authentic parts, which means that they're not making the money they need to continue pushing.
Also, those same people are having getting a bad representation of that brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah, it's a first impression, and it's hard to change that, right?
Or any impression, you know.
Yeah. I think for the performance bikes, like I said, Harley's doing a good job of creating great bikes for people to start with. But for any great scene to evolve, you need to have a scene. You know, like the bike there's a phase I think people go through. You get a bike, fresh rider. You don't come from a family of riders. You don't have friends to ride. You're the guy that takes the plunge on your own, guy or gal, either way.
Gets an 883.
Maybe. You just get a bike and you start to go through the same phases and waves that we all do on motorcycling. There's a phase where it doesn't matter what the conditions are, what the reason is, you want to be on that bike, period. Right? And then you get to a point.
I'm in that phase.
Still?
Yeah.
So that's where you're in that initial high phase that like you just want it to last forever.
That's what I started out. That's what I work on. Staying there.
You get to this point where like you want to experience some of these things with another person, a friend, a rider, someone to connect with. Because if you don't come from a family of riders, you're kind of an outcast. Not outcasted, but you're kind of alone in this space where you have this. Man, I want to share this experience of what it felt like to be on the road when that sun was setting, or the temperature changed, or whatever. This awesome stretch of road I rode. Yeah. And you don't have anybody to share that conversation with, so
you start a podcast.
It's kind of this what happens. Nowadays, back in the day, you just went on fucking back pages like, hey, I'm
went to bike night, dude.
Exactly. You had places you can go and meet people and then connect and like continue your journey and get in. Like maybe you got lucky and you found a group of people that already had some sauce kind of figured out, and you got to go be a part of their sauce and learn that and figure out how they do it. And then whether that runs dry or it fucking evolves into something else, you just kind of bounce around and you find your own way in this motorcycle life, you know. And what happens with like newer bikes? Like, do you think you sell someone a bike? Do they solely want the bike, just what that feeling I just described, the sunsets, the temperature, the freedom, whatever, or they want community? You know, Harley is a very community-based thing that has the ability for you to be an individual. But honestly, man, like I don't see a lot of individuality in Harley. I see a lot of community across the country. I have so many friends, so many people that I fucking really care about and endear because of motorcyclists. Harley specific. I don't fuck with Indians. Except for Kyle. I love Kyle. Forever Rad Kyle, Indian. He's the guy that wore Reeboks whenever we all wore Nikes, so it's all good. But from the hood, dude. That's how we used to.
He's the guy that wears the Adidas socks with the Reeboks too. Because he's got to be different. He just can't.
Well, he does have a Harley tour pack on his Indian, so there's that. But no, what I'm kind of getting at is that I think that like community, if you have strong communities within a culture, that's what attracts people to it, right? It's not always.
It's
just
one of the
bike.
things, yeah.
You
Especially the Harley culture.
I want to be a part of that world. That looks badass. I look like I fit in. I feel like I would fit in that world. I want to be a part of it. This is a tool to be a part of that world. And sometimes a lot of people, and I heard someone in the chopper world tell me this, and I don't know. I think about it a lot. It's like guys will get in the choppers, but they don't really want to ride them. They don't care to ride them, but they love the scene. They want to be part of the scene. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens when you get like a scene that kind of overshadows the bike. You know, like you have to have a good equilibrium balance.
Don't you feel like that's a lot of the Harley community?
Yes and no.
I mean, there's a lot of people that don't really want to ride their bike.
But that's the point of like, you got to.
It's like your camp out. It's like, fuck, I got this performance bagger, but I'm going to throw it in a trailer and haul my camper.
Yeah.
And then we'll ride when we're there after we listen to Joe Kidd talk to us till 4 a.m.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Do they take the bike because they really want to ride, or do they take the bike because they want someone to see that they had the bike at the event?
Well, I mean, I think that individual like reason is completely theirs, and it's like voting. I don't give a fuck what you like. Whatever reason got you here, I'm glad you're here, but come here with an open mind and try to like experience this. Don't come in here with like an agenda that you've already figured out.
Don't just vote all red.
I think that like I think it's like, whether you want to call people like what you or I do influencers, I don't like that term. I think we're just doing something that felt natural to do, like, you know, talk to people, share the unique experiences that we both get to live by being motorcyclists first. You know what I mean? Because I was riding bikes before I was a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I was a painter before I was a podcaster. You know, you were Danger Dan before you were a podcaster. Like, you were doing cool shit. It's just that like the podcast was a way of sharing some of these experiences that you were kind of uniquely a part of. You know what I mean? Which I kind of mentioned to you the last time we talked, is like, it gets to a point where you've been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years, and you have so many unique experiences that it's kind of over, like, how could anybody really keep up realistically is like an average guy, you know what I mean, in this world. Everything we do is motorcycle. Like, when we text on Monday, you were in fucking North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, you come home, and then you're with Oliver Peck last night doing a podcast. And then you're home for a couple of hours, and now you're here. And you have people from France at your house right now. So it's like, who the fuck has a life like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. It's so much. You take in so much. It's like it's hard to convey that to the world in a way, or it's not hard. It's just different, you know. And it's all because of this choice to take this shit seriously, being on a podcast. You know, not just doing it to sell your T-shirts or whatever the fuck, but like.
So you gonna build this performance bagger first or this chopper first?
I want to build the chopper first, but I can finance the bagger.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I can finance the bagger.
You can finance the chopper.
Nah, dude.
I mean, I feel like most choppers are financed.
Probably.
One piece at a time.
Well, the chopper thing.
But you're after something else. You're not after the path.
The chopper thing, like the experience building that FXR last year was it was unique in the sense that I've never felt like that being a part of a build process. And I that's a high. It was a high. I've been chasing that high. That's why I want to build the Evo chop.
Get one piece and start on it.
Yeah, there's
a way to finance it.
There's a couple ones on Marketplace right now that I got my eye on, that I'm just kind of like seeing how many weeks I can put between saving it and making an offer to get hopefully a good deal. But I do have an itch to travel right now, like get on the bike and go somewhere and do some podcasts, some more of these experiences like we just talked about, and a bagger or at least a lowrider ST would really suffice that. Make it just easy it's a lateral move just to go get the shit done and be on the road, mm-hmm. You know. My FXR, the chop needs to come apart and get some serious maintenance done to it. So
like what? Just
fixing things, preventative maintenance. Look, like older bikes are, when a twin cam leaks, there's usually a bigger problem. That's not, you don't let it leak forever. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
So older bikes leak.
What kind of possible fucking serious maintenance could you be doing on that bike? How many miles you got on? Like 20,000?
I did since Born Free last year to now, I'm sitting at like 18,000 on that bike.
Mm-hmm.
The motor had about 13 on it whenever I did it. So I'm sitting about 30,000 miles on that motor.
On a 100,000 mile Evo motor.
Twin cam, so it's like 200,000 miles. But I think the primary is getting pretty loud. So I feel like a compensator, a chain tensioner, maybe a new clutch is probably in the works. But I need to take the whole thing down to the frame and fix some things. I had my frame twisted with the kickstand. Once I packed it out for this big trip this summer, it twisted the frame. So I had to weld on a new kickstand out in Reno. TBJ helped me out. So I need to fix all that just for once I get done traveling on that bike, I don't intend to travel on that bike anymore. It's just going to be I'll fix everything that happened wrong with it, and it'll be like around town. Like,
once you get it dialed for traveling, you're not going to travel on it?
I've never got to own a bike my entire life. Like, that bike will never leave until I die.
Really? You're keeping that one?
Forever, yeah. Too many friends, too many people, too many brands that I'm close with are a part of that. So it's a very sentimental bike. Even the motor and the whole drivetrain's from a sentimental friend. So that bike stays with me. And if I die early, hopefully my family can sell it to pay for the life insurance I don't have, to help, with whatever cost. But, if for the most part, I want that thing to sit in my possession forever. When you go to Nest, have you been to the Nest place out there in fucking Livermore? Dude, you walk in, you check out this museum of bikes that Arlen, Cory and Zach of Nest have built over their lives. And it's just amazing to see, like, they build a bike for a reason and then it has a life, but it stays there. It's, like, to me, that's the next level of being a bike builder, is like to get to a point where you start building bikes for yourself and you get to keep them and not just have to move each one. Not that it's bad at all, but to build a bike for a purpose of, this is for me for this reason. I don't ever want to get rid of it. I want to be able to maybe have my kid ride it. Maybe, whatever, like, it stays here. It's a part of my brand. It's part of our family, like, I feel like your chopper's like that with your family. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine you selling that. And if you did put it up for sale, I'd probably be like, yo, dude, don't do that. Stop. Don't.
I think about selling it all the time, and then I'm like, fuck, I couldn't get any money for that thing. People know what I've done to it.
That's the kind of shit that happens, though, right? But yeah, that's
that
just
chopper's a piece of junk, dude.
But it's cool though.
Bunch of welds everywhere. No, it's fuck. I love that chopper.
Last question, we can wrap it up.
Come on.
If you were gonna if 21 Days Under the Sky was gonna happen again, who would you do it with? You're a part of it.
21 Days Under the Sky was going to happen again. Well, I mean, I've done that. 21 Days Under the Sky. Fuck, I did. I guess we didn't do 21 on the Baja trip. But we stayed under the fucking. We were outside long enough to where people thought I was Mexican. Started talking Spanish to me. Like, just anybody?
Well, like, for the premise of what that was, like, you're going on the trip, you're riding across the country or across Mexico or Argentina, and you're doing it with
How many people do I get to pick?
Just your crew of people that you're doing to share, and like with the intention that somebody's watching, not just like this solo, like not secret, but like personal thing, but like this thing that you're doing to kind of like show,
to entertain people.
In a sense. More, not so much entertain.
If you were making a documentary and people were going to see what this was about for you, who would you have with you?
Dude, I mean, bare bones. If there's a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Kickstart Mike.
Oh yeah, that'd be badass.
Alan Wayne Nichols. Knives Made by Nick.
Sounds like a Mexico crew.
Brian Helm. Yeah, that would be it.
That's cool.
Fucking Velarde would be. Yeah, he would have to be there. Dude, I mean, I could go on.
Yeah,
I fucking know so many people. that would do a great job of that. Fuck everybody on the Desperado run.
No, I like I said, I just like a perspective. Like, what would you, if you were going to do it and have a TV film
I mean,
crew?
see, if there was a TV film crew, none of those guys. No, I mean, it would be, that would take all the pit. Like, I'd be more concerned with who the TV guy, who are these people?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, the biggest reason I haven't shared more like video mainly video is because finding the right person that's capable of doing it for the right reasons and that isn't busy doing other shit, you know, that wouldn't get me killed by the cartel if the cartel happened to run into them first.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, there you go.
That'd be cool. Well, dude, you're Danger Dan in it. You're becoming an analogy that I use for my friends, doing shit, you know, like, oh, you got their Danger Dan in it, dude. Just fucking out there.
Less lit, more hip, dude.
Yeah. And
out there, Danger Dan in it. Usually that means like breaking something.
Well,
as you're trying to fix it.
You've done a good job of like showing that the road provides, you know, just being out there and shooting from the hip, but at the same time, like still showing up, you know what I mean? So it lets everybody know that with the right attitude and the right mindset, you can go into all these things and kind of come out on the other end where you wanted to be. The journey to get there could be different or difficult. It just depends on how you like deal with it. You know what I mean? But, you know, dude, I literally talk about you a lot when we do podcasts. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I think I told you recently. You ever watch Forrest Gump?
Come on, this fucking movie's great.
It's the best movie, right? You know how, like, there's all these scenes where all of a sudden, like, Forrest Gump's in these historical moments and he's just standing there, like, lost, how the fuck I got here? Like, that's you. Like, I go places and, like, you're just, like, how the fuck did he get there? And I'm like, not that I'm, not I, me, you, whatever, just like, how are you there? It's like, I would tell, how'd you get down? He's like, I just fucking walked in. I'm like, see, you get away with that shit. I look like I'm doing something wrong. You like you're supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So
that's why they're going to charge you so much for that bobber.
Exactly. Not fucking building a bobber. Not a European. But anyway, no, I do appreciate you coming out here. And thanks for doing the stuff at Born Free Texas. And
oh, come on, that's going to be
honestly, man, like, thank you for, you know, connecting with Mike, you know, years ago, because that one recommendation you did to Mike for me has opened up so many fucking things for me.
Good.
You know, and honestly, like, for people listening, like, you know, helping someone out doesn't have to be like any more than just connecting people. You know what I'm saying? You really connected me and helped me out to help me be find more purpose within our brand for Texas and Born Free and, you know, beyond. So thank you for that.
Well, you know, I just seen you wanted to help, and those dudes are fucking stoked to have anybody that wants to help. You know, they want to see it grow. They don't, you know, they're using really the same method that made Born Free what it is out in California. You know, it's just kind of letting the people do, you know, supporting the people that want to participate. You know, and I don't know that I want to participate as much as I want to just curate a experience for everybody else to enjoy. You know? So
that makes sense. Well, I'm excited, man. So we'll see everybody at Born Free Texas. And
hey, before you go, I just want to say I enjoy seeing you soul searching over here.
Shut
you
up,
know,
man.
with everything in life. I do. I'm like you know, it's a fun story to watch as you evolve and move along and chase down these new experiences.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see your van, dude.
It's
I hope you break down on the way there, honestly. Just so you got a good story to tell when I see you there.
Yeah, I'll pull up on a tow truck, flatbed.
Don't give up like that.
I
But
don't
if
know
you do, we'll fix it when you get there.
Yeah.
I'll have tools.
I appreciate it, Dan. Thank
Later.
you. All right.
Sick. Fucking nailed it. I do really hope you break down on the